Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Captain Quasar, and welcome back to another unofficial H3 waiting room. We've got a long video that was recommended to me that we're going to watch today. I'm going to show it click the right thing. There we go. Called Karma Police. Wonder if he likes Radiohead. By Kale _ Content Cop Autopsy. I'm kind of interested on that, but before that, we obviously have some Instagram posts and some Reddit posts, as always, as well as some creepypastas we're going to do in the middle, with a special guest, if they're available. But yes. Sure. Okay. Yes. Okay, we're all good. Here's a little something I found.
This video, you guys should watch this video here.
Check it. I think it's impressive, but this guy doesn't.
See this video now. Yes! Jack, try it with this block and I will give you 500,000. If you can try it with this block, throw this block up. Boom!
500,000 what? Because I might do it for 500,000. And depending on what other, even the exchange rate, I might do it for 500,000, depending. Let's talk the numbers, man. Let's figure this out.
And allow it to break on your head. Jack, I'm going to give you 500k cash, no be doubt. Like this video, you guys should watch this video here.
It was real. Did he weaken it somehow? He hit at it with a chisel before doing that.
See this video now. Yes! Jack, try it with this block and I.
You try it with that block. Why you disrespect him, bro? What'd he do to you? Maybe they're competitors. He is stronger. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for questioning your strength, my friend.
Like this video, you guys.
Imagine he actually did it. Nah, he's just working out. What a guy. I saw this. I can't play the sound because there's music, but this is some of the best juggling ever. He's using fake limbs. This is incredible. Some people, I understand, I can understand dedication. But to have dedication to something like this, like, is this his profession? Does he work in some kind of traveling circuit where they do all types of performances? Which is the real one? Which is the fake? I was YouTube featured today? Oh, let's go. I'm working my way up, madman. At least for you. But that's good for the algorithm. Here, I won't play the audio for this one. The last one was just like, the last one was just instrumental, so I couldn't play it at all. But this one, I won't play the audio for you, but I'll sing it. And you want me to change? Fuck you. Fuck you. And you. And you. I hate my friends and they hate me too. I couldn't remember what the words are. I hate your friends and they hate me too. But you get it. Real legend, though. Pretty good shirt. I know you were talking about the last video, but art is dependent on weird people like this, and I think it's beautiful. And then it's a Monday morning. I thought some people might need this. Well, for some people it's the evening, but you know, I'm doing this in the morning for So take it for what it is. Enjoy, rewatch it tomorrow morning, and you'll feel even better. Moving and grooving. Here is in 2023, a 50-year-old boxer made his professional debut against a 23-year-old opponent. Oh no. Alex the Fiction thinks I'm a Zionist. I need to figure out how to turn off notifications or create some alternate account so I don't get messages. I'm going to start getting people sending me slurs on here. You just go like this. Fill in. In 2023, a 58-year-old boxer made his professional debut against a 23-year-old opponent. This is what we call inspirational. Everybody take a little bit of inspiration.
Jashawn Hunter in the black, got a record of 0-6. And the big shot down.
Just for anyone wondering, this guy was the 23-year-old, this guy was the 58-year-old. Kind of a crazy matchup if you think about it. Like, yeah, like he's going in way too late in life, but there are definitely boxers that were older than this that he could have been put up against. Yeah, I like this comment. Whoever sanctioned this needs prison time. It's so true. Because that is wild. Weird Chris, but I'll watch that again in the morning. Good, you need to watch it in the morning. What do you think of that? Is that what made me a Zionist, Alex? Because I watch things like this? Wait, this is me and Alex in our future boxing event? Yes, Madman, you and Alex are going to be just like this, but it's going to be the opposite. You're going to knock Alex on his ass just like that.
Out goes England, and his head slammed off the canvas. He seems to be okay. He's going to try to...
I don't know if he's okay. I don't know if he seems to be okay. Oh, God. It looks fine to me.
Get up.
Let him fight again.
And I don't know if he still wants to go on. He still wants to go on. I don't know what he whispered to the referee, but England is not really moving towards Hunter. Jab from Hunter. Hunter told me he's not going to respect his elder tonight, and that's evident for the first couple of punches.
Oh my God. He really said I'm not going to respect my elders. This guy doesn't, I mean, look, I know that these things are tight, but the extra back fat is telling me that the training wasn't too extreme for this guy. Why didn't he just do something like marathons or triathlons? Hell, he could do a Spartan race. But he chose to get in the ring with someone literally less. He's over double his age. He's nearing triple the guy's age. 8 years. In 8 years, if he was 8. Sorry, that doesn't make any sense. If he was 8 years older, he would be triple this man's age, which I think is pretty insane. Or not 8. My math is off. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I did the math wrong. I realized. I'm moving on. Is this a Mandela effect? Has Captain Quasar always worn bunny ears? You know, I was trying to think of a Halloween costume. And this is the best I could come up with. I'm a silly wabbit. That's your son, and you are beating him. This is what really happens when a dad fights a son. You don't want to get in the cage with him. It's sad. I want to find more strange competitions. I find like these every once in a while. Like I'm into things like armored MMA, where they wear knight's armor while they fight in a cage. There's other versions of that. There's card-jitsu, where they do jujitsu in a car. There's also telephone booth boxing, where they're in a where they're boxing inside of a telephone booth. But those are just combat sports. I would like to find other competitions like this. Mug Drop 2025, IMSET. The Advanced Materials Show USA. So this is the Advanced Materials Show, but specifically I would go here just to watch the mug drop. I would die to see Cap'n wearing Playboy bunny outfit. Well, with AI now, you don't have to imagine. Get to it. Here, I'll give you a good. Here, I'll give here you go. Perfect. Wait for it. Do with that what you will. I like the horse 1v1 with that big ass pointy sword. Talking about jousting? Jousting is pretty good. You know, I went to the Ren Fair when I was in high school. I was lucky because I went for 2 years in a row. Because I was part of theater and part of multimedia. We did film and TV. It was multimedia the first year. Because I was part of those two classes, I got to go to the Renaissance Festival for like with my class, and it was like a cheaper ticket and everything. And we got to see the jousting, and I remember going the second time, I realized that they had the jousting. I like remembered it because I have a memory like that. But I remembered that like the order in which the jousting, like who won. And I was like, oh, yeah, so this person's going to win, then this person's going to win. And then they have a draw because then they have a final one that comes out. Like, because they have to like have like the queen announce the final joust. And it's like, yeah, they have to follow this storyline. And I was like, not only are they not knocking each other off the horses, they're just using like those little shields. They do knock each other off in some places, which is kind of cool. But in where I live, they just like have the little like shields like put on their shoulder that they knock off. And not only are they not knocking each other off the horses, but it's rigged on who's going to win anyways. Ridiculous stuff. See, some of them are cracking. I like when they shatter. We need to see a good shatter, because it's like if it just cracks, you could still use that mug. Hey, just get a little sandpaper, sand it down so it's not too fucked up. You're good to go. How many of these ones did they make? They look like they just have like a bunch of the same type. Wow.
Whoa!
impressive stuff. And then finally, this is another combat sport that I found, which is Fight PFC, which is pillow fighting. Amazing. Pillow Fight Championship. The PFC.
Left hand up. Great way of dodging that. Look at that.
Wow.
We've seen a lot of matrix movement today, Evan.
Well, the 5 Ds of dodgeball are very important.
Yes.
In this Idubbbz trip to the semifinals with Apollo, the superstar waiting. Oh, here's some good swings for Davis. He's got to make head contact, though.
Now, once he connects, he needs to keep moving. Can't just station his
They do look like they're like weighted bags, which would hurt. It's kind of interesting. I'm intrigued.
feet there. Can't stay planted like a statue.
And you've mentioned it, that left hand's got to be defensive.
That left hand up.
Did you see that? He did a spinning back bag. It's not a spinning back fist. He just did like a spinning swing. And these guys are impressive.
Great way of dodging that. Look at that.
Wow.
We've seen a lot of matrix movement today, Evan.
Well, the 5 Ds of dodge.
I just love how tired he looks. It looks so fake. I need to follow this.
Are very important. In this Idubbbz trip to the semifinals with Apollo, the superstar waiting. Oh, here's some good swings for Davis. He's got to make head contact, though.
Now, once he connects, he needs to keep moving. Can't just station his feet there. Can't stay planted like a statue.
And you've mentioned it, that left hand's got to be defensive.
That spinning backswing with the block. That was impressive. I missed a D's nuts joke? Who?
That left hand up. Great way of dodging that. Look at that.
Wow.
We've seen a lot of matrix movement today, Evan.
Well, the 5 Ds.
Oh, this is amazing. Just that shot.
On yellow! On yellow!
It looks like a pretty decently sized crowd, too.
Yellow! Yellow!
This is just my kids during summer break and bored AF. I mean, yeah. I wonder how you get into this kind of sport. Like, do they study other martial arts? Do they just not want to do another martial art? Is this just, like, were they doing another sport before this? Or is somebody like they were in football, or somebody did basketball prior, and then they were like, you know what? I want to get into pillow fighting. See, they're doing a lot of spins too, which I can appreciate. So I can just see right here another one. Oop, it's not loading. Internet okay? I've heard everything's been down. Oh, it's because I'm on the page. I'm dumb. That's why. It must be a points-based thing, because it doesn't look like it actually hurts that much. So it must be like actual clean shots to the head and to the body or something. I'd love to learn how to do this. I'd love to learn the point system. I'm going to have to do a deep dive onto that. But moving on to the Reddit. We have a Fusi update. Apparently Fusi was in some kind of bodybuilding competition. He sculpted his body into something amazing. And I have to say, I'm worried. I'm worried for Fusi. I'm always worried once he starts... You know, Fusi will do great things. He'll do amazing things. Up to a point. And then he starts to, like, his mental state starts to wander. And things go awry. And it never ends good. So he's doing this now, and I think he won.
It's been the most insane journey.
I don't know what position. I don't know what place he got.
Every day in the gym, every meal prep, look.
Reddit's been really quiet lately.
First place, y'all. We did it.
God.
I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for all the support. I can't wait to show y'all how everything went down. We literally did it. Let's go.
Basically, he put a lot into it and he won, or at least placed in some way. I don't know if that was. I'm assuming that's won. I can't read it though. I also don't know what competition it is. Professional tag? Oh, I have seen professional tag. Professional tag's legit. Professional, here, if anyone doesn't know, I'll pull one up real quick. See, I love parkour. I also showed the son's stream yesterday. He looks even more crazy. Yeah, I'm going to stop in today, Madman. I'm sorry I missed yesterday's stream. But I'll pop in today when you start. Yeah, see, so this is pro tag. I really like parkour. YouTube too. Some issues lately.
Some of the craziest action I have ever seen.
I think this is maybe copyrighted music.
Against Mo Ayari. Mo up onto the mountain and Kyle just springs up to get him. And
He got him. He touched his foot.
that right there has been planned out and played out time and time again.
Just looks like a lot of fun. But yes, moving on. Tell me why I just found this on my notes app from 2021. Words Ethan can't say. Justin Timberland, Janice Jackson, Squidward. I immediately started thinking of some, but then I started reading the comments, and we're gonna look through all the ones that I liked because there's a lot on here. I don't know what's happening on Reddit too. I keep having to like double, triple like stuff, and none of it's being. I don't know everything. I don't know if it's my computer, or if it's my internet, or if it's the internet. I've heard there's network issues like across America. You're starting Wednesday, not today. Too much stupid work to do today. So true. Yeah, I just saw it this morning. I guess I didn't see the actual date. But either way, I'm gonna make sure to stop it on your next one. The dehydration before competition can make anyone look and act weird, not just a Fousey thing. The feeling I got from how he was acting wasn't super weird, but that's why I was questioning. I don't know if he got first place or not, because it almost seems like he's like, we put so much into this. I'm so glad that we placed, but I don't know if it almost felt like he was like a little upset. But here's some more stuff that Ethan can't say. So we have Justin Timberland, Janice Jackson, Squidward, Bartholomew. Bartholomew got me multiple times. Bartholomew, when he couldn't say Bartholomew, it's Bart. Just call him Bart. But Bartholomew. Bartholomew's a good one. Brent Rockman. I don't remember Carl Tucken or Rogan Reagan. Was that for Ronald Reagan? I think I do actually remember that kind of. Rogan Reagan. Elvis Idris Elvis. Idra Elvis. Idris Elvis. Any other iterations? Magnus Opus. My Magnus Opus. And then they didn't do it right on here, but someone else said XXX Tashian. XXX Tation. Clydence Clean Water. Tenacious X. Like Tenacious D. Tenacious X. Someone said Ex Machina, and I can't remember. Did he say Ex Machina or something? I learned about Deus Ex Machina from CinemaSins, or not CinemaSins. What's the other one? No, I think it was CinemaSins. Caesar Milan and Bienvenido. Buenvenimus. Caesar Shimon. Caesar Shimone. Buenvenito. Buenvenito. Little Seizures. Zoe Deschanel is Desanchi Denchuchi, apparently. See, some of them I don't remember and some of them I do. Slithender, is that for Slytherin? Slithender? Singer and singing. Singer. For some reason he overpronounces the G. Singer. Singing. Like everybody says it, but singing. Chat GPS. The Magnificent Tales of Jeff and Cody. Enrique Iglesias. He doesn't pronounce it wrong. It just always says Ricky Martin. Jimble Kimball. Balzania. Marlo Brando. I think that was all the good ones, yeah. I didn't like any more after that. Those were all the tops. It's not that I didn't like them, but it was just I think they started getting repetitive. But yes, that was a good one, and I think honestly that might be a good collection for someone to find all of Ethan's mispronunciations, or at least a bunch of them. Get like a good collection. And then moving on, everybody keeps coming for Hasan. Like they just don't stop. Everybody's coming for Hasan, including Matan now.
Go viral.
He makes floors go viral, like
Yes.
hardwood flooring. My dad does hardwood flooring. Bro, please. do
Caius,
not
please
shop.
stop being a fucking baby, man. Just sit there, okay?
I will never understand that. I will never understand. Did you just kick him? What is happening? This is. Can we take his? Hold on. Can we just take his mask off for a second?
Look, this isn't a shock collar, by the way, just so you know.
Oh my.
And then he did a longer bit on the actual podcast. It was literally throughout that whole interview. He just kept doing it. But then there was a Patreon ad that he did for his
As
Patreon.
to why America... Kaya, please just fucking go back. Stop! Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby. It's just... You're making her stressed? She's just so incredibly spoiled from my mom. No, she doesn't want to come over here to see what's up. She wants to roam the house because she got to roam the house when I was gone, and she needs to have literally the same structure regimented. I hate everything. I just hate everything. Is it a sin to steal from your neighbor whose wife you're cheating with before killing him because you're jealous on Saturday, lie to the police about it, and then go home and punch your mother and father in the face while repenting to multiple gods made out of metal while taking the Lord's name in vain?
Unconditionally. Moving on. Veterinarian reacts to... So now we have a veterinarian coming out against Hasan. So remember, we a few streams ago, I showed a TikTok by a very nice lady who was speaking from the perspective of a dog trainer who was talking about Hasan's ineffective abilities in training, to say the very least. But now we have an actual veterinarian able to give us the down low and the up high and the sides and the the ins and outs, everything. It's not that much, honestly. He goes over what we basically know, but I just think it's important because Hasan at one point said, that's why you see so many people coming out and being like, it's not a big deal. So many professionals are saying, I'm right, everybody else is wrong.
Reason as to why America, Kaya, please just fucking go, just stop. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby.
So in this video, we see a famous influencer allegedly use a shock collar on his dog after laying there for about 4 hours as his backdrop. Okay, and for one, his credibility is already ruined because the first thing he did was lie about using a shock collar at all, as you can see here.
She didn't even have that collar on to begin with.
What? And the minute...
Ooh. Big thing from Ethan 3 minutes ago. So there is a no stream today, coming tomorrow. Good thing I plan to stream tomorrow too, so... Whoa, we have enough streams. It's going to keep coming. But Ethan said, hello, friends. This weekend we had a family emergency that has been occupying all of our time. Everything appears to be okay now, but I'll need to move the Monday show to tomorrow, Tuesday. But I've got a lot to talk about then, so hope to see you there. Then did the Teddy Fresh and Teddy Glow ad. Okay, so hopefully it's nothing too serious, but... wishing them the best, hoping, everybody's doing okay. But yeah, so I guess I need to change the title. I'll just remove that. Boom. But yes, we are still gonna react to this. I guess we'll get through the whole thing, no problem now. Don't have to worry. Don't have to worry about that pesky stream starting. Am I right? No, but yeah, I guess I'll be here. Feel free to stay or leave. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to keep going with this veterinarian's take on Hasan.
You lie, your credibility is gone. Everything you say from there on out, no one's gonna believe you. Then he admitted the dog was wearing the collar, but left out that it has the ability to both vibrate and shock.
It has the capacity to vibrate, and that's it.
Not to mention this video of him hiding the remote on live stream so that people can't see him using it. If you're not doing anything wrong, then why hide it? And if you're curious about what kind of collar it is, here's a good explanation.
This is the exact shock collar Hasan used. It even has the black tape just like his. This is the mini educator made by eCollar Technologies. Go over here where the black tape is and peel that off, which is something he just added, by the way. There's little screws for prongs. And what you do is you take these prongs, and now it also has the ability to give stimulus or shock.
And if you want his solid reasoning as to why he's a shock collar, here it is.
Come over here to see what's up. She just wants to fucking...
She wants to walk?
Roam the house because she got to roam the house when I was gone.
Yeah, so he didn't want a large breed dog getting up or moving around after it had been in the same spot for about 4 hours, assuming because she makes a pretty backdrop. My thoughts are that it doesn't matter whether or not it was shock or vibration mode. This negative reinforcement or punishment causes enough stress and duress for the patient to yelp out loud and go back to its bed out of fear and submission, even if no physical damage was done. Thunder is harmless, but it can cause enough fear and stress for a pet to jump out of the window, cut itself, get hurt, or never be seen again.
And I thought this was an important point because people keep saying like, "Oh, it's just even if it's just a it's just a vibration collar. Even if it's just a vibration collar, using it ineffectively and using it in like poor methodology is going to lead to anxiety in Kaya." That isn't good.
The point is, he was inappropriately punishing her for...
Your chats keep not sending? I'm telling you, there's big issues with YouTube, and... Is everybody else having issues with stuff with Instagram and YouTube and Reddit? I've been having a lot of issues lately. I don't know if it's just me.
For a normal...
Because I looked it up, and all of the down detectors also say that other people are reporting down. But, nothing. I don't know. It's we're not getting a whole lot from people with the information. The vet Loki looks like Jason from The Good Place. Yeah, using it to keep your dog in the corner. Imagine being the dog, not knowing what's happening. Yeah. And yeah, it's because you're not. I mean, legitimately, she's only learning. I'm not allowed to step off my bed. Which, yeah, again, it's like, is she a military dog or something? Does she need to stay there because she's gonna go be sniffing for mines or something? Can't be stepping too far.
Dog behavior. The purpose of negative reinforcement or punishment is so that you immediately use it so that you can prevent an inappropriate behavior from your pet. Kaya had been laying down for several hours, and anybody would know after laying down for that long.
I'm glad he said that too, because that was Denham's point of like, oh, people act like negative reinforcement is so bad. Negative reinforcement includes saying no. And it's like, yeah, but negative reinforcement should be used as like an immediate response to stop something that is wrong. Getting up is not wrong. That would be maybe something you're trying to correct if you're doing like place training or doing something else. But again, it's dependent on a bunch of variables that we've already kind of established and have established as wrong.
Blood supply decreases to that area of your body, joints tend to hurt more, so she needs to get up and move around, let alone just have some behavioral enrichment. So yes, this is animal abuse because Kaya was being punished only for moving around and her needs are being neglected.
It's affecting mostly the US that stuff's down. That makes sense. The good old US of A. Ooh, ain't it so great? We got the ceasefire in Israel, and then Israel immediately bombed Gaza again. Good job, Trump. Why didn't he get the fucking Nobel Peace Prize again, right? My God. Why were people saying that? It's so... The Amazon servers are so bad right now that my Alexa was going insane, flashing all the lights in my house and security cams, whacking out, saying people are at the door. Pretty spooky. Ooh, yeah. October much? Halloween much? Ooh, it's just the spooky season. Yay! All my internet stuff isn't working, and it's causing issues with my home security system. How amazing. Thanks, Donnie. Yet another war he stopped. Did everybody see that video of I don't know if they were the prime ministers or what, of Azerbaijan and yeah, this video. Damn, what is this fucking... Caught on mic, EU leaders mock Trump for Armenia, Albania, or it wasn't the Azerbaijan one, it was their Armenia, Albania mix-up. Here it is. Yeah, wait, he said Albania, that's what it was? It's our president, everybody. Yay. He shit his pants. He did it to make fun of them. Duh. He called Armenia, Albania to make fun of it. Duh, he was making a funny joke. Do we talk about Trump's shit video? What, did he shit himself? Is it official? Has he gotten that old? He can keep farming that war stop count if they keep violating the ceasefire. I literally created a document because I want to start like just keeping a list of all the different stuff that Trump's done and Trump's talked about, and it's literally right now I've created it. It's a 5-page document. I need to add this I need to add more context around this because all I have in reference to this part is literally just Oh yeah, I only have one section of this talking about it where I link to an article, but I didn't actually write anything substantive after because he was talking about. I have a fact checker article addressing Trump's claim about ending multiple wars. So good. Trying to do my due diligence. The pre-show is not canceled. Don't lie to them. 9 more pages. Yeah, I imagine it'll extend. Well, the way it's written right now is here. I guess I can just show it. I don't really give a shit. The way it's written right now, I have it linked to different stuff. I have different, articles and data sources. Some different stuff. I had to put this at the end. Trump is not a Christian. Because I think that's a part that he tries to use a lot for in-grouping. And I found a good video that represented that.
I'm proud to be partnering with my very good friend Lee Greenwood in connection with promoting the God Bless the USA Bible.
The Bible certainly is one of, if not, I mean, it is the book. I get sent Bibles by a lot of people.
Where are all those Bibles anyhow now?
Well, actually, we keep them in a certain place, a very, very nice place.
What's my first favorite book? The Bible.
Captain is going to do a 5-hour stream to make up for the show being canceled. Maybe, maybe not. Oh my god. I think there might have been ash in my lungs. I think I just coughed up a little bit of ash. Ow. 9 more pages, yes. Yeah, it's only 5 pages right now. Need to add more. But I'm doing my job, doing my due diligence. Guam got you hooked on Subnautica. It's a good thing to get hooked on. It's a good game. The veteran asked Clancy, what will be done about America deserves 9/11 and veterans deserve PTSD comments.
Hello, Dan. I've been streaming on Twitch for 9 years. I've been a partner for a long time. But another thing that I am is I'm a U.S. veteran, served in the Army, deployed to Afghanistan. Veterans are a protected group on Twitch. So I was just wondering, I've heard comments about the United States deserve 9/11, PTSD, veterans deserve that. When are we going to start holding other streamers accountable for stuff like that, regardless of social status?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for your service. Thank you for the question. Really appreciate what you've done and all that. And you use certain examples, and some of those examples led to enforcement, right? It's always a very tricky process because part of what we need to do is have a set of community guidelines, and we do have a team that works very hard to consistently apply them. The views of individuals aren't necessarily the views of our platform. We're at a time where people...
Yeah, why is he wearing such a stupid hat? Who would wear something so ridiculous on their head? He looks like a fool. Putting this laughable item atop his gentle skull. Why would you ever disgrace yourself in such a way?
Sometimes can talk in hyperbole, right? Unfortunately, and this happens on all sides of the political spectrum, and so that's something that we have our.
He dresses like when you click randomize on a Sims character. Oh, that's so accurate. You're not really. That's so true. You click it once and you go, click it again. Can we talk about this too? Is this a Roblox binder? What is this? What is he holding? Is this his t-shirt? Is he wearing a Roblox shirt? And then does he have a Labubu, really? And then a fake, like, chain, like a... Just look how yellow this gold is.
We apply them consistently. I understand you may disagree with some of those decisions, right? And I always say one of the nice things about Twitch is it's a platform where if you disagree with the views of somebody, it's not appearing in your feed, it's not appearing in what you're doing, it has nothing to do with your experience. And that's not necessarily true with short form content. Sure. There's also...
That's not necessarily the way they... Well, on Twitch, we like to, if you don't like the content, don't like it. You dislike the video, it won't probably get shown to you anymore. Problem solved. The problem is the whole point is with certain ideas, it is then propagating an ideology in which those types of ideas are valid. So in this circle, those statements like America deserved 9/11 and veterans deserve PTSD, saying that stuff is considered a valid and justifiable claim. And you can say that you have enforced them enforced upon it in certain ways, but if you're still allowing it to continue, like what's the point? Who cares if I'm not going to see it? I'll see it eventually when it is fed to me, if that idea is propagated enough. Because obviously you care about something. You're not going to let somebody be directly racist on your platform, right? Or like directly just bigoted in any way, I would hope. And so if you're not going to like, and I guess the point is like, where do you draw that line? What do you define as bigotry? What do you define as abhorrent statements made to what you consider protected classes on your platform? And that's the part that he can't seem to answer, and he's just fucking spewing a word salad. It's not appearing in your feed, so why do I get actual notifications suggesting Hasan to me constantly, and I get one the other day suggesting Frogan to me, and I've never watched either of them ever? Yeah. He's just... Maybe he just doesn't know. He's not on the back end. He's in front of the camera being like, hey guys, what's up? It's me. Yo, yeah. Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum.
Sorts of stuff that appears in my feed. And so part of this is trying to make sure you can find what is the right experience for you on Twitch, both as a streamer.
Didn't that anti-Semitic kick dude just get a Twitch deal? I saw that someone put, I don't know if it's totally true. I wouldn't be surprised though. Oh, cuff him? I'll look into it real quick. I did hear that that was a possibility, but I don't know for sure.
So a little bit.
Boom boom. Oh, I mean, he was live on Twitch 4 days ago. So I don't know if he got a deal with them. But it says live on Twitch 4 days ago. Because 3 weeks ago he turned down a deal. He doesn't have it linked or anything like Twitch or anything like that. So if it is a deal, I wonder what that means. Just you're on our platform now. But now we're actually going to do some spooky readings. One sec. Mr. The Fiction, are you ready? Let's see. Give me 2 seconds. Doop, doop, doop. I can hear you. Let me.
Oh, 1 second. My audio output's fucked up. Oh.
Okay.
And the roosters are going crazy right now, by the way, so you
Hey.
probably will hear them.
But you should be coming through good. Right. Let me just get this squared away. Sound like that. Then if I go like this, that works, but then I just need to organize this. Look who it is. It is Mr. Alex the Fiction. Here, talk for a second while I try and get this.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Captain. Is this my first time on your show?
Yes, it is.
Cool, very cool. It surprised me because there's such a delay. It's like a 10 or 50-second delay. I got spooked.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
I didn't even think about that part. You're so right. Oh,
there you go. I can finally see you
real quick
on the screen now.
Filter to a. Perfect.
I wanted to match your energy with the costume, so I pulled out this number. I have not worn this for anything yet. I wanted to do a series called Content Firefighter, but I ended up not doing that.
It looks pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good costume.
I'm surprised it looks good too. I'm shocked. Like, it looks way better than the cop uniform.
You could just take that out.
Yeah.
You could use that if you're doing anything. If you're going.
I might actually. Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
The perfect one. But so I have a few options that I picked from because I know you're a big fan of Death Trumpet. That seems to be your favorite.
The biggest, yeah.
So I went on the Troll Pasta Wiki because they have just the collection of the best, worst. So what I have is 3. So there's one that's just called Doctor, that's really short. And then the other 2.
Okay, sweet.
The other 2 are a little bit longer, but one is a Yu-Gi-Oh experience. And the other is
no way.
And the other is Adventure Time Finn's Assassination. So
okay. So I might warn you, I might not go crazy. I definitely won't go crazy for as I did with Death Trumpet. That's just my prediction. But we'll just go in and see how we do with these. Because the Death Trumpet one, I've been listening to that story since like I was 15, dude. I found this YouTube video. It has less than 1,000 views still. And I rewatch it all the fucking time. And it makes me laugh hysterically every time I watch it. So there's something just fundamentally built in with that story that's really tied to me as a person. So I don't know if these stories are going to make me go as crazy as those, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll start with this one because I think this one was the one that was it was the least entertaining, I would say. Here, I'm not going to share my screen with you. Sorry, you're just going to have to wait for a second until it gets popped up on the stream.
Oh, you could send me the link, and as I
read,
I
can. You're so right. You're so right. It's a short thing, so you'll see.
Sweet.
Just so they don't see any. Send it.
Yeah, the rooster's like right outside my window, so it's definitely gonna.
That's perfect.
Kind of mess up the immersion a little bit. All right, cool. I've not actually explored this website, even though I visited it a lot of times for the Death Trumpet.
For the Death Trumpet.
Let me know. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll start reading.
Yeah. So here, you can start it off. You can read this one, and then I'll read the next one.
All right, perfect. So this story is entitled "Doctor." Okay, I'm already starting to feel goofy from this, so this is fun. He had always he had always been different, but not necessarily crazy different. He was always humiliated by his fellow for his love of the paranormal and his vast knowledge on the subject, but no more. One day, years ago, he followed them home after school. Every one of them. Jordan had laughed at his eccentric attire. He shot. What is happening in his story?
Come on, keep it going.
He shot Jordan in the head. Sarah had laughed when he asked her to the prom. He
Isn't this
strangled
horrifying?
her with a necklace. Aaron made fun of his fake accent. He killed him with he killed him with a crowbar. And the rest who just ridiculed him every day for his love of information, for his intellectual mind, well, he left them a little present. See? Sorry about that. He left them a little present of C4 under every one of their chairs. Every last...
Every
You're
last
right,
goddamn
awesome.
one of them.
Every last goddamn one of them. He didn't go. Didn't go home that night. He moved out. Fuck, man, this is really good. I have been missing out on this website. Whew, fuck, man, the vibes are so good with the story. Very, very Death Trump vibes for sure.
It's spooky for sure.
I'm spooked, man. These are ectoplasms coming out of my tear ducts right now.
Ectoplasm's coming out of something, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, he moved out of the country across the world, and he spent his nights among people who understood him. On the internet, broadening his vast collection of paranormal information. He chose to adopt an identity for himself that night, so everyone would know him. And he would no longer be ridiculed, but loved, famous, adored. But what persona did he adopt? What name to go by? On the paranormal boards online. Well, he always wanted to be a doctor.
That's the doctor.
Oh,
That's,
right. Dude, that was awesome.
that was
great.
That was uploaded in 2011. That's a deep cut
Yeah,
right
it took
there.
me so long to get through that.
I totally forgot to throw in
Oh,
some
man.
spooky music. Here, let me do that.
Oh
just
yeah,
one
dude, the
second.
spooky music. Oh man, that would have tied it all together.
Here, I'm gonna read
Chat
one
like
though
that.
next. I want you to stay on while I read this next one.
All right, go for it.
But let me just pull up some music. What did you think of that though? What did you think of that story? I thought it was pretty
Dude,
good.
that was perfect. Good job curating that. That was really good. You thought this was the least funny out of the three?
I was just the shortest, so I think the other ones have a little bit more substance to them.
Cool.
I really just I was trying to. I found like literally on this site they have a page that someone made that is a link to all of like the worst ones, and so I just clicked through a few of them and I found this one. I thought it was pretty funny.
This was great. Oh, by the way, they want us to kiss.
Want us to kiss again? Oh, here, give me a sec. Oop.
Yeah.
Playing my music wrong.
Okay, so let me know. Let me know which way to shift. I'm like this or down. Does this work?
Yes, that's perfect.
All right.
Do it again.
Let me know when.
Need to make
Ready?
sure you're just stay where you are.
All right. Place, Alex. Place.
There you go.
Mm,
Where did it go?
you got it.
There we go. Perfect.
All right.
But,
I don't know if I got that in or not.
I think we got it. I'm just trying to make sure this is all set up. Boo 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 boo. That one. Okay, you won't be able to hear it, but they will, and that's all that matters.
Okay. Oh, I saw it. Cool.
So I can't tell if it's too loud now because your audio is going too, but I think it's fine.
All right. Very good.
So we're gonna do this one next. This is called Adventure Time: Finn's Assassination. So I'm gonna read this one for us. Are you ready to be horrified to be terrified?
Yeah, could you send me the link to the story so I could follow
Oh
up?
yes, I will send you this one. So,
Thank you.
Covering this. I keep doing it in steps because I'm like, I want to make sure I don't show our chat or anything.
Okay.
They don't need to see that.
I want to leak my nudes. Not here, not now.
But here we go. This is Adventure Time. Finn's assassination. It was a dismal day at school, so I walked at my house. My parents were in another country. I went to the door and I saw a shoebox that said, Hell. I got it and went inside the house and locked the door. I opened the box and saw a VHS tape that read, Finn's assassination. I also found a note that read, Destroy this, and even a lighter inside. Curious, I got my old VCR, removed my DVD player from the table, and plugged the VCR in. There's just like no punctuation for this.
Yeah, that's rough.
Curious, I got my old VCR, removed my DVD player from the table, and plugged the VCR in. The episode started with the regular intro, but the volume was quiet. I paused the film to see if I had muted it, until I had realized that my volume was as high as 10, and it wasn't muted. That didn't bother me because when it introduced Finn, it was just a gravestone. I thought it was some April Fool's joke. The episode started and the entire Candy Kingdom looked at both graves when the view pointed at the people. They had red, realistic, bloody eyes. It played some weird violin music for that
weird.
got me.
That is quite weird.
It played some that got me. It played some weird violin music for about 10 seconds before a red text appeared on a black screen that read 1 year earlier. It showed Ice King in his mountain. He said in a depressed voice, I am a sick loser. I am Finn and Jake's a bitch. Gunther is the only bitch in my life. It's time to get rid of Finn. The screen went down, and it showed Ice King eating Gunther with realistic blood and guts everywhere. Ice King then flew out of the mountain and said to the treehouse, Yoo-hoo, I'm terrorizing the Candy Kingdom. Finn jumped out with his sword to fight the Ice King, but the Ice King stabbed him with the knife. He did the same with Jake. He carried them and flew back to the mountains. The screen showed Ice King eating Finn and Jake's guts. He flew to the Candy Kingdom. The screen turned black, and audio of what seemed to be the Ice Kingdom. Oh my god, I don't think I read through this whole thing. R-wording Princess Bubblegum appears, my god.
Wow.
The screen goes black for this is a horrifying story. That was a really harsh shift real quick. I was not expecting it to go there. The screen goes black for a minute. Then a text appeared saying Ice King's death a decade later. It showed a thin Ice King walking in the Ice Kingdom. Then he rips off his arm and eats it. He cried, finally, something to eat. The last text that appeared was, Hell shall eat the weak. The credits appeared, but the words were blurry on the last frame of the credits, and it showed a bloody text that read, The Devil. Then whispering could be heard for about 2 seconds until the episode finished. After watching the video, I left it the doorstep of my worst enemy. I put it in a shoebox and wrote a note that read, Watch this awesome clip. If you find it, just destroy that tape. Do it for your own good.
What an asshole.
What did you think of that one? That was a really weird throwing that in the middle, but...
Yeah, that kind of threw off the whole vibe in the middle right there.
It did.
But the story was pretty fun.
The story itself was alright. Here, let me Control F. I don't think I'll read this last one, but make sure there's...
It had all my favorite cliches when it comes to a bad creepypasta. It had poor grammar, poor punctuation, hyper-realistic, and gratuitous violence for no reason. And the ending makes no sense. Like, why the heck is... If the message is destroy the tape for its own good, but he left the tape at someone's house. He's not following his own advice.
It also wasn't even like it doesn't even seem like it was like haunted or anything. It was just a really fucked up fake video someone made.
Yeah.
That was kind of the vibe I read as. It's like, it's not even haunted. It's not even like it was really anything scary. It was just a really fucked up animation someone made that this guy very poorly explained.
Not too bad though. That was fun.
Yes. So this last one doesn't have any sexual assault. Would you like me to read this other one?
Do you want to go for it? Yeah, go for it.
Here, I can send you the link. I just don't know if this one was funny. I didn't even start this one, I don't think. Oh, I think the only reason I like this is because it just had one moment where he just yells at someone for no reason. Honestly, it's fine. I think that's good for now because I still have to watch this whole hour-long video. I know it's probably gonna take a while.
All right, man. Thanks for allowing me to read that. Dude, that first story was fucking awesome.
Yeah, the first one was
read that
great.
on my own time.
Yeah, here I'll send you a link to the thing I found too of all of the collection of all the different ones so you can peruse.
Yeah, let's do this again. Let's curate some more and do it again.
I was thinking I need to create a channel of reading creepypastas, but it's just reading these. It's just reading like these type of ones.
Yeah, this is great.
Okay, well, I'll let you go now.
I'll leave you to your video.
Thank you so much. I'll see you in chat if you
Have
stay.
a good one. See you in chat. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh no, now it's double me. Who would have thunk? Oh. Close that. And that was Alex the Fiction, everybody. So true, am I right? But yes, now close that. Turn this back up. Poor grammar is such an immersion killer. Have you read The Supermarket Monster? I have not. I can save that for tomorrow. The Supermarket. I can save this one for tomorrow. Yeah, I'm trying. I need to remember to start doing them during the streams. Give me 1 second while I just reset my recording real quick. Oh, can I kiss myself? I hadn't even thought of that. Wait, I totally can. Just give me a sec. Oh wait, so I have to go. Wait, here's how I have to do this. So here, then remove. Okay, this is gonna take a second. So remove this, then back. Oh. Big me kissing little me. It's the masculine and feminine version of me kissing each other. Can't put my arm around myself, really. My arm's already around myself. Beautiful stuff. Close. Pointless to have, sorry. Self-cessed? Yeah, it's true self-love. That's all we do here. But now, this is a video called Karma Police Content Cop Autopsy by Kale_. It came out 2 days ago. So I thought, why not check it out? It's a new look into an old shitty video. So I thought it might be interesting. Let's give it a start.
I know, I'm a little late to the party, but I would like to analyze what happened between Idubbbz and H3 in recent months once again, because this whole situation, and especially Content Cop video itself, is so absurd to me. This video... I mean, arguments are illogical. theme of this video makes no sense. Idubbbz says something and then in the next sentence he contradicts himself. It's very hard to analyze something so chaotic, but I think I managed to put it reasonably together to show you how many errors his narrative has. And
well, you've got a smooth speaking voice, so I'll hear you out.
Hopefully, it will give you a chance to rethink certain details of this whole situation.
That was 2 days after my birthday.
Let's start 2 years ago. Ian released a video titled I Miss the Old Idubbbz. In the video, he says that the way he acted in his old videos no longer reflected who he is. There are a few interesting moments in this video that I'd like to go through. In the second minute, he admits that he had no right to moralize or judge others.
I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on. I don't think anyone deserves that.
Yeah, and that's why all levels of critique are, not all levels of critique, but all meaningful levels of critique are justifiable. Like if you're like literally calling out somebody for something that is wrong, abhorrent, whatever you'd like to say, that's not like you shouldn't feel bad just because you've also done some wrong. You should just understand the nuances of your either your own actions or be willing to change your perspective so that you can, make a more meaningful change in society or whatever, online.
Level of cruelty or hate.
He informed his viewers that he was unlisting his previous Content Cop videos.
I just finished watching this video. Sorry, Skinner. Sorry to do it to you.
I'd like to unlist the videos. I feel like that's the best solution, at least for the time being. You can like content, but you can also think that it's irresponsible and it's hurting other people.
He apologizes to all the people targeted in his Content Cop videos, expressing deep remorse.
I'm sorry to everyone that I made Content Cop videos on. I still don't like the majority of you, but I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, okay, I won't say that doesn't make any sense, because if you genuinely feel as though you were like telling people to go and brigade and like go and shit on people, and that's how you felt like you were sending people out into the world, I can understand feeling like you've done wrong. But also, I don't know, I guess I'm just thinking from a perspective of other creators that I've watched, like Memulous. I've watched Memulous for years. I've been big into that UK commentary channel space, but I've watched Memulous for years, and even when he was making fun of like Little T rapping in BG Media, pick up Jack Wilkinson on the count. He would say like, don't go send hate to these people. That's not what I'm trying to like do. The whole point of this is just making jokes. And I feel like that was like a large. I feel like a lot of YouTubers did that, but I guess it just depends on internally if you felt like you were okay with brigading in that way.
Yeah, and this strange moment.
Yeah, it makes sense in his simple mind. Fair enough. I'm overthinking it.
I can't help but think it will become handy in understanding this whole situation.
In closing, I want to say that I have always thought that I was an empathetic person, but I never did. I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability, empathy. It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired empathy, but I have, and I've realized it because
Fat Bastard is Scottish and not Irish. Does he make a Fat Bastard reference? Did I just miss a Fat Bastard reference or something?
I just like can't help myself but like feel for other people's pain and suffering now.
He just can't help himself. I remember Ian got quite a bit of criticism for that video. I think it was mainly the decision to unlist previous Content Cup videos that caused confusion. Nobody was pushing for that and it just felt unnecessary. Personally, I liked the video when it came out. He made things clear, he explained how his views had changed, how his approach to making content had evolved, and why he no longer wanted to be associated with his past work. If people change, content changes too. It was a mature move to address that publicly. The issue, however, is that in this video he apologizes for certain behaviors that seems to have resurfaced again. To understand the most recent Content Cup, we need to talk a bit about the atmosphere.
The corkboard behind him is too neat. He needs to make it more psychotic. He just needed more attachments, like a couple more like links. Because right now, yeah, it's like, I think he just did a pentagram. I'm pretty sure he just did a pentagram. Am I wrong? That's what it looks like to me. Looks like one goes across. It looks like the only thing maybe that's different is right here, maybe. He did a pentagram and then like an I don't know actually. Maybe not. I'm analyzing the corkboard. This one doesn't even attach to anything. Or I guess is this Ireland? Is that what he's doing?
Surrounding the H3 podcast at that time. For more than a year now, there has been this growing tension between H3 crew and what they call their enemies. After October 7th, Ethan took on the role of someone who speaks out against dehumanization of Jewish community, partially caused by the Israeli government's actions. He expressed this many times before, but I think that in this episode he explained his perspective most clearly, even though he looks like Deadpool from X-Men Origins or as if he just turned back from his Titan form.
When the massacre happened on October 7th, and terrorists came into, Israel and slaughtered 1,300 people, there was a lot of people, though, that were cheering on Hamas explicitly. A lot were doing it explicitly, just saying like, hey, this is what a revolution looks like. And there was a lot of people who said, as the bodies were, still being counted, Israel hadn't done anything.
I always make fun of Ian for looking like dehydrated and malnourished. When Ethan's skin looked like this, he really, like, I'm surprised he didn't get like the zombie allegations back then. It looked like he had some kind of like flesh-eating virus or something. What did it end up being? I can't even remember.
In response, it was the same day. I mean, they were still cleaning up. People don't want to hear about timing, but I'm just telling you my perspective. As the news broke, before expressing condolences or like horror, it was Free Palestine. Now, I'm Free Palestine. You can say Free Palestine. But the timing to me made me uncomfortable. It seemed like they were cheering on Hamas. But somehow it's never the time to dispel this really violent, anti-Semitic rhetoric that's causing riots. Synagogue leader over the weekend was stabbed and killed. So it's incredible to me that people think I shouldn't care about these things.
That was ableist of me. My bad. Oops.
Not the time. I believe that the time is good for all spaces of offering civilians your empathy, your caring, your understanding.
Yeah, bro, stop rubbing it. Stop rubbing it. It's going to make it worse.
I don't believe that, I need to wait for you all to tell me now's the time. And whenever that is, probably never.
If you're going to rub it like that, at least like have some Vaseline on your finger.
Frankly, probably never. They go, and what's happening in Gaza is also horrible. Like, if I don't say anything, then they say, he didn't post anything about Gaza. If I do fucking say anything, then it's like, he didn't say enough. Now is not the damn time to talk about slain Israeli citizens whose deaths are being forgotten and minimized.
Many people accuse Ethan of not criticizing Israel harshly enough, despite understanding the conflict well. People claim that he focused more on the suffering of the innocent Israelis than Palestinians. And they also have a problem with him criticizing pro-Palestinian voices. All of that, and propaganda of his haters, led to him being labeled as Zionist or even Israeli propagandist. The difference in perspectives also led to the collapse of...
I regularly have eczema on my face. I really appreciate that he kept streaming through these flare-ups. Hey, I'll say, I think you should still go out and be your beautiful self with eczema. But listen to the dermatologist and put whatever creams or whatever for your own sake. Just so you're not rubbing it in like Ethan was. But here, let me go back for a second to get this point fully.
Palestinian voices. All of that and propaganda of his haters led to him being labeled as Zionist or even Israeli propagandist. The difference in perspectives also led to the collapse of Leftovers, which eventually resulted in Ethan posting a content nuke on Hasan. This in turn caused Hasan and his orbiters to pay more attention to Ethan's content, and he gained a whole new crowd of haters. As time went on, attacks on H3 show became more personal and more coordinated. We are talking about doxing Teddy Fresh employees, spreading organized disinformation, leaking the H3 studio location, threatening specific staff members, and even getting visited by the FBI. They even received real human skulls in the mail. Well, to be fair, Ian didn't know about the skulls while making Content Cop. Maybe if the FBI. They even received real human skulls.
Okay. For a second, I thought he said 3 human skulls. The accent's too thick. I can't understand him. But yes, they did receive real human skulls.
In the mail. Well, to be fair, Ian didn't know about the skulls while making Content Cop. Maybe if he knew, he would understand a bit better what H3 crew is.
When I pass away, my family can have my skull. Keep it on the mantle. That'd be kind of cool. That's my grandpappy's skull. It's metal.
Is dealing with.
I don't know. I thought the skulls thing was kind of humorous to hear that.
It wasn't a humorous. It was a skull. But tish. Oh, what the hell? I didn't realize. It's still getting played through that. I played the cheer earlier and it played through my mic. I literally fixed it earlier. Why did it change? Hey, it happens.
We're just having some testicle difficulties.
Skulls are expensive. I got 2 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 6 out of 10. What's that average at? We're all over the place.
It all reached tipping point when CPS showed up at Ethan's home. That moment changed Ethan, but the
What a dumbass. Simple Ian thinks that the skull is the same as a bone in your arm. What a guy.
tipping point when CPS showed up at Ethan's home. That moment changed Ethan, but at the very least gave him a reason to stop holding back. But the first public call-out Ethan made towards Ian and Anissa actually happened shortly before the CPS visit.
What type of accent does he have? Is he French? That almost sounded French to me, but I would have guessed German probably a couple minutes ago.
It all started with Froggy Tonic.
Or is it something Eastern European that I just wouldn't even know?
Who is a previous editor.
I also would not expect the guy who's made this video up to this point to use that kind of editing. That was pretty good.
Actually happened shortly before the CPS visit. It all started with Froggy Tonic.
Who is a previous editor and friend of Anissa and Idubbbz.
Who had been repeatedly accusing Ethan of things like endangering his kids or killing his dogs.
And obviously blaming me for killing my beloved pet. And then extrapolating meaning to somehow say I'm abusing my kids. There's actually no limit to...
I said 2 because I kind of think that was Ian's intention. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. If that was his intention, I feel like he might be dumb because I mean, maybe he's just making a bone joke. He's just making a bones joke. Well, he should grow a spine. There, I got it again. I need a badum tish. I don't have a badum tish.
Mom, I want a vape.
That's what I have instead.
Right. Their cruelty. Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like, she's a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and Idubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered for saying one goddamn fucking thing in our defense. Like, actually, Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his daughter.
I have a Lithuanian classmate with the same accent. True. Yeah, so maybe more in that region then.
Is maybe too far.
But to be fair, despite the criticism, Ethan also said some kind words about them, and not in the past tense.
I've stood by them when all the internet hated them because I love those guys. I vouched for their character, and I stood by them 100%. And listen, I'm not saying that they're not the good, nice, fine people that I thought they were, but I'll say this: I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. That's what I'll say at this moment. And certainly, I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it. So I have nothing. I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man. That's not what I need.
The key thing is that Ethan went public with that problem, and that gave the conflict a completely different scale. Idubbbz's silence didn't carry the same weight as Ethan's public disapproval. In the end, Ethan's call-out triggered a snowball effect. What began as a small personal disappointment quickly escalated into large-scale public drama. Later in that episode,
I kind of like this because this is a good outlining of the build-up, because I think, you know, everybody that's reacted or talked about the content cop that Idubbbz made, everybody's like kind of talked about this timeline, but I don't think anybody's actually like established it this like thoroughly.
Lena, who was supposed to fight in Creator Clash 3, was brought up.
By the way, speaking of which, I just want to voice my support for Lena. The way that they have it set up is basically, if Lena were to drop out, she would have to pay back.
Ah, thank you, Caterpus. Welcome to Quasar's Cadets. Thank you so much.
Like 20, 25.
Oh, wait.
Yay, I got a subscriber.
If you want to hear that, become a member today. Those are free. Like the stream.
$1,000 or something like insane. And besides that, right, which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out. Besides that, she's working really hard. And just because I'm having an issue with what's going on here, I 100% support her. I want her to fight. I want to watch her fight. She deserves to have that fight. She's trained hard, and she deserves to have her moment and to enjoy that experience. Okay, so I don't want anybody judging Lena for participating in that. I support her, and I insisted to her that she continues.
Bringing up Lena into the whole conflict publicly and the whole situation put her in a very awkward position. Had this been handled privately, it still would be awkward, but surely it would be less stressful for Lena. Once Ethan said it publicly, he invited thousands of people to this situation. And for someone as sensitive as...
Since you asked, Rum Tum Tugger, I'll explain. The members' structure I have right now is the Discord is for... Sorry, I'm trying to pull up what the actual... I think the Discord is for the second tier of memberships. My levels. Here we go. Yes, Quasar's Cadets get emojis, and then private streams sometimes, and other things. The members' Discord is $5 a month. Sorry, but that is just quick access to be able to send me content and stuff that you are recommending, as well as direct updates for when I stream. And then I do have a $10 version for call-ins for if anybody had complaints or anything that they wanted to tell me about and wanted to call into the stream for $10. And then the big boys who just want to give a little extra, the Galactic Big Shots. Yeah, so it's Quasar's Cadets, the Inner Circle, Cause Mic Access, Did a little something clever there. And galactic big shots. Oh yeah, the emojis are pretty good. I think I could drop a couple in chat too. Yeah. I need to make them stickers, I think. Or yeah, there's a couple in there. I think I can add a couple more actually. Need to add some more soon. But yeah. We're growing. We're growing the channel, trying to do more stuff. I appreciate everybody that even stops in and watches it all though. Thank you so much. Oh, shout out Lana Julie. Upgraded membership to the Inner Circle. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. I have emoji power now. I don't want to spoil you. So true. Shout out on the upgrade.
Yay, I got a subscriber.
It was just an upgrade, but you gotta give them the shout outs where they are, you know. That one sounds a little quiet, am I wrong? Where is it?
Yay, I got a subscriber.
Turn that up just
Yay, I got a subscriber. Yay, I got a subscriber.
Those weren't all new subscribers. I just needed to make sure it was loud enough on my on my soundboard. My bad. But yes, thank you so much. Let's get back to the video.
Lena seems to be. It must have been overwhelming. Ethan's critique of Idubbbz wasn't that cruel, but it was public and clear enough to shape the reality that followed. What started as a personal rift was now everybody's business. 2 days later, H3 Podcast aired an episode where Ethan and Ila talked about the unexpected CPS visit. Something that should have never happened, because regardless of what you think about them, CPS had no business being at their home. The entire episode, over 3 hours long, is mostly about the incident and the emotions surrounding it. Out of all of that, they talk about Ian and Anissa for about 15 minutes.
And they're good friends.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Yeah. Thanks, Anissa.
Haha, the emojis are all just various Cap'n faces. Yeah, I need to add some more on. Maybe I'll add a bunny ears one? No, I need to add some more other stuff too. Add in an AK-47. Just put in stuff that's just genuinely like, why is this even here? Need the bunny Cap'n face. Yeah, that I think it's a decent ad.
Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times, because like, why would I not? It was crazy. It's crazy. People were shitting on you and Ian because you did OnlyFans. Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me. So,
the problem.
Okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends. Okay, do you have anything else to say for your friends though?
Just say he doesn't. Like, they say something like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Ila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually.
She thinks they have.
The video should be linked in the description. I added it. Let me know if that link actually works, because there has actually been issues before with the links not working in the description.
My point.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
So yeah, Ethan and Ila just call them spineless cowards again. They make it pretty clear. We are not friends with you anymore. Still, they also say some kind words too.
They're very gracious, nice people that like we have a lot of memories with. Me and Ian have made a ton of content together, and you know, people that I really consider my friend. And we would talk about private things. We would get together. We would go hang out at our house, go for meals and stuff. And like, you know, we were really friends. But you know, at this point, there's no room in my life for halfway friends. There's just, or even 90% friends.
So essentially, it's the same message, just with a little more elaboration this time. Ethan expected some public support from Ian and Anissa, even a simple tweet. I can imagine that might feel awkward, but it's not exactly a huge request when someone considers you a friend.
Saying it only privately, but nothing publicly is just not gonna cut it for me right now, unfortunately. If you can't show support for me publicly, then it tells me there's a problem with you and your crowd. Like, if your crowd is the kind of crowd that will not hang with you.
I just noticed that this channel was only just created in August. His channel was? Oh, really? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. He must, okay. Saint Kale. We got Pope Diorio and Saint Kale. Interesting.
because you'll show support to me.
Listen,
There's a lot of I'll be fine without you.
Okay, let's break down what happened so far. Let's summarize that. Ian and Anissa are being friends with people who constantly aggressively insult Ethan and Ila, like Froggy Ian and Anissa offering no public support during a time when Ethan and Ila felt under attack from all sides. Ethan and Ila then publicly calling them spineless, saying they are no longer friends. I'm listing all this out because, rewatching those clips, I keep on asking myself, was this enough to break all his principles he said he stood for in I Miss the Old Idubbbz video? Was this enough to record 2 hours long content cop on H3? Something doesn't add up here. Ian and Anissa addressed Ethan's and Ila's comments on their own podcast. Yes, they do have a podcast, and I've got to admit, they start decently. At least it gives the impression of calm, measured response, like they are taking a step back and understanding that Ethan and Ila are going through something rough.
Ethan's upset with, I think, some of our connections, and, you know, we've tried to reach out to Ethan to talk privately. Basically, it just seems like we're at a bit of an impasse, so we want to stay out of the drama as much as possible. We don't want to pile on and add to anything, so this is our, you know, lukewarm addressing of it.
We don't condone harassment
We don't condone harassment of any kind.
Of any kind, okay, period, which is why we have not stuck our foot in any of this, because it is not productive. I don't think it's helpful, and these are real people who have real feelings.
I think harassment online is like, you know, we felt it. We felt plenty of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's kind of why there's been a shift in my content, is because it's not fucking healthy for people's brains, and it like doesn't get you anywhere. Like, I would make, you know, a couple videos, the content cop and the content deputy, and then I would say, okay, I'm done, I'm out of here, let me leave this.
Yeah.
And it was done for me. For me, it was done. It was not done for the people who watched my videos. It was not done for the person who was being harassed.
They don't sound like people who are planning on making a content cop. Everything they say still fits into this I Miss the Old Idubbbz persona. So why did they decide to flip the table? Ethan didn't talk about them much after this point and before the content cop. So what happened? Later, Anissa brings up the Etika situation, a creator who struggled with serious mental health issues.
I hate bringing it up, but Etika. The Etika stuff was so hard for me, right?
I'll never get over. I'm never going to drop how she says that. The Etika stuff was so hard for me. What? Etika jumped into the East River and died. He committed suicide and jumped into the East River, and it was difficult for you? Like, have a little bit of compassion when speaking about somebody that tragically took their own life. Like, after like repeated instances of mental health issues online that were going like basically like unhelped. Like, he was going unhelped, like, after multiple, you know, and people did try and do certain things, but it's just like, I don't know, it didn't seem, the amount of people that were acting in opposition, I guess, were doing more than the people that were trying to help. No, it just is so crazy to say that.
Like, that was somebody who clearly was experiencing a mental health issue. And the last thing that they needed.
She never said she gained empathy. Fair enough. You know, Ian said he got it at 30. Anissa's just never picked up on it.
And this is my attitude, like, full stop on this period. The last thing somebody who's going through something like that needs is more eyes on it. And more, like, people weighing in. Right? And, like, that's why I'm kind of angry that we even have to, like, talk about it here.
And she says that the last thing he needed was more people watching, more eyes on him, more pressure. And yet, weeks later, you started working on a content cop about someone you insist is having a mental breakdown. So, you are aware of the pattern, you've seen what can happen, and you still decided to go through with it. So, the only logical conclusion is you want Ethan Klein to kill himself.
Not having the tools like emotionally, psychologically,
Yeah.
but it's also having the support system.
Yes.
Family.
Predictable schedule, hobbies,
Therapy.
all these things.
Yeah, that's great. And also friends.
Here's the thing I will say. I can personally just be honest and say that I don't have too many friends. I could probably count my number of friends on one, if not two hands. And I don't think the difference is I've genuinely never had an issue making friends. And I think that having friends is helpful, but the whole thing is about making sure you have good friends. And you don't need to have a bunch of friends, but again, it is about the company you keep. And Ian's like to align himself with bad people. And I think what Ian said, or what other people have said too, about Ethan not having friends outside of like internet stuff, I think is funny, because I think in most instances, like content creators begin developing friends through their content and through like the different things that they're doing, in the same way that other people make friends through their jobs and through, you know what I mean? It's like it's the same kind of working experience in that way. I'm not ready for the Content Cop recap. It still is gut-wrenching when it dropped while H3 was on air. Yeah, it hit too hard. No, I do think that was insane. The fact, because I mean, there's no other way to read that other than Ian did it so that people would see it on the stream. Like, he wanted, like, basically to boost it. I don't see how you could see it as any other way than him trying to boost this hate video by doing it at the same time that they're live. Getting to know the community has given me some friends recently, which is awesome. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is and the other part of having friends is this thing, which you need to know where being a friend ends. Because at the end of the day, your friends are not your family. And your friends are, I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without like it being like callous. Because I'm not saying like your friends are expendable or something. My point is like your friends are, shouldn't make you or break you. You should have friends based upon the things that you enjoy and the things that you appreciate. And the ways in which those people interact and like agree upon those same things. But that doesn't mean that if those people start to skew on other aspects that are like something that truly matters to you, then I think that it's like everybody needs to be willing to be willing to break off friends. I'll never understand people that'll defend somebody to the grave. Like, oh yeah, he might have actually done that terrible, heinous thing, but he's a good guy. Like, you'll hear that about people in real life. Yeah, he might have assaulted that person, but he's still a good guy. He gets in his head sometimes. And you're like, what are you talking about? You need to realize what you're saying and to be able to correct yourself so that you don't say things like that and can correct the person that you consider a friend. Because they do not just get a pass for, oh, they don't understand. And it's funny because for Hasan, it's not even like a you don't understand, or for Ian, in the case of like trying to cover for Hasan, it's not even in the case of like he doesn't understand. It's you're just wrong. So it's even more. It's an even like higher level of that.
Alright, time for the main reason this video exists and also my personal hell. Not only because I had to watch it ungodly number of times, but god damn, this is such a poorly constructed video. I mean, no logic.
I wonder if he thought Ethan would be too scared to react to it live. His video was so piss poor, it was so easy for Ethan to react to. Gokinaru had a better H3 takedown video. At least Gokinaru had more than one skit. That's a good point. I did find it kind of annoying that Idubbbz did that like really weak intro and then that was it. And then the rest of the video just sucked. Because it was like the intro was totally to pull in his old viewers that are like, oh my god, content cops are back. Oh my god, Idubbbz is back. And then they had to watch that, and I saw so many comments where people were genuinely just saying like, I've been out of the loop for so long, this is just confusing, dog. I don't know what your issue is. Get a job, get a life. I thought that was funny.
No jokes, no insightful commentary, nothing. It feels like a messy brain.
He didn't have skits. He had just the introduction, which you could, I guess you might be able to consider a skit in some way because he was fake doing karate in his living room and then ran in a field for like probably like 100 yards maybe.
Dump of ideas, random things he maybe wanted to say, thrown together without any structure. In a weird way, I actually admire the courage, the confidence, the ability to just publish something so unpolished, especially when you've already built a name for yourself and know that thousands of eyes will be on you. But maybe the same confidence gave...
I think it's an interesting point that it just sounds like there were a bunch of things put together, like a bunch of individual claims that he tried to make into one video that didn't like really necessarily work as like a cohesive video. But I was going to point out that in the age of ChatGPT, you'd expect him to be able to create a better script. But then I thought he probably did actually use ChatGPT, and that was why the script was so terrible.
Give Ian the illusion that his name alone will be enough to convince the viewer. So why bother trying? Why research anything? And I guess when video gets 7 million views, it's easy to convince yourself that what you made was at least decent. But I don't think it was.
Wake me up! Wake me up inside! I can't wake up! Save me! Wake up!
This video has 2 intros, because apparently one wasn't cringe enough. Okay, the first intro. We see Ian presented as some kind of repulsive goblin while he's watching the H3 podcast. And here's the first weird thing. The clip they picked from the H3 podcast shows Ethan talking about the hate campaign he's been dealing with lately.
They will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one.
And that's what supposedly triggers Ian to start working on a content cop? Feels like a subconscious self-report. From a viewer's perspective, it kinda seems like Ian made the content cop because Ethan hate was trending. Sure, maybe I'm reading into it too much. But it's still odd. Why not choose a clip where Ethan actually insults Ian or Anissa? It's like Ian's pretending this isn't personal. Just some neutral critique of a distant public figure. Then we get something for the old school Fred fans. And...
Or wait, did he show it? I was gonna point out...
Just some neutral critique of a distant public figure. Then we get something for the old school Fred fans.
Saying this one's for the old school Fred fans is pretty funny. But I was going to point out, because I pointed this out in the content cop, when
Nothing was out.
In the intro, this is how big of a fan he is of the show, though. Or I think it was before that. God damn it, when does he start doing it? There it is. He starts doing jumping jacks wrong. He starts doing them like how Ethan failed to do jumping jacks correctly. So to do that is like kind of a deep cut, even at the time when he did the video. So I just find it so like... I find it almost more offensive that he couldn't have made a better video. Because he clearly is like a deep like a deep H3 fan. Like he knows the deep lore. Maybe I'm thinking about it too deeply. Maybe he also just can't do jumping jacks correctly.
And off he goes. Now the second intro, which doesn't really connect to the first one at all. And this intro, oh boy, it's a nightmare.
Wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Yeah, this counts as a skit. This one counts as a skit, right?
I think it might be the worst thing I saw online in a decade.
Time to be awake, Ethan. Wake up.
I think Ian's not trying to be funny here, because he can be funny, he's proven that before, but here, he's actively trying to be the most annoying person in the galaxy.
This is no longer a dream, this is a nightmare. Wake up.
You mean that video is a nightmare?
I don't think I'm quoting Ethan correctly, but I think Ethan said something along the lines of like, Ian, you were funnier when you said slurs or something like that. And honestly, it's sad because it's true. That's like the worst part. It's like, it was something along those lines. I'm definitely quoting him wrong, but it was something like that.
In that case, I agree. That checks out.
I'm not gonna do a React content yet, chat.
Also, maybe it's just me, but isn't it kind of in poor taste to clown around in a scarf of the Free Palestine movement? Feels disrespectful, but maybe I'm expecting too much.
That's a good point too. Everybody was pointing out the fact that he was doing it while holding the Nazi sword. But even just, again, using it as a prop for your video is odd. Because it didn't really have any, it didn't have anything to do with Israel-Palestine. It didn't have anything to do with... So it's like, if that was the aspect you wanted to talk about, maybe it may make that more well put in your video.
From a room full of these people.
Who?
I'm expecting too much from a room full of this.
Denims, Frogan, Idubbbz, who? I didn't get it. I kept hearing people saying Honda Civic, and I didn't understand that it was, I think it was Papa Gut said Shonda Civic because it's Shonda Black. And Shonda Civic is honestly pretty funny. But, I do just think it's funny that like nobody's talked about him since, really. What is he up to? Here, let me do my research. My research right now. Sean.
Hello? Test, chat, test. Can you hear me? Am I being heard?
Oh, is he at TwitchCon right now? Or no? His IRL streams have consisted of Baddie Search commences. Baddie Search commences. Are these clips? I think these are clips, okay. Or are these broadcasts? I think he was at TwitchCon, okay. Just chilling at TwitchCon. What a guy.
People.
Yeah, this was a bad angle. Who took this photo? Anissa took this photo. Hasan didn't take this photo because of the angle. This photo was taken by Anissa. Or somebody else that is slightly shorter than Sean.
I feel gross watching this, like physically dirty. These facial expressions, they feel almost self-harming. I think kids who hit themselves make faces like that. Look at those tensed up muscles and that jaw. Dude's about to snap his neck or shatter his teeth from all this pressure. I refuse to believe there's a person on this earth who watched this intro and didn't get secondhand embarrassment. This isn't something his career should recover from. It's worse than any slurs he ever said. Imagine Ian directing this shit. You know, position...
Honestly, I've loved this guy's delivery because he's been giving like really monotone kind of like facts, like kind of like a facts analysis is what he's doing, but then just going like, can you imagine Ian directing this shit? Oh god.
Ever said. Imagine Ian directing this shit. You know, positioning people, giving stage directions, telling them what they're gonna do next. The behind the scenes of this intro must be gold. Please God, let it leak someday. Please. Okay, it's over and... Huh? Why is he gasping for air? Oh, I get it. This scene was supposed to come right after that scene. Interesting. Interesting.
If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan. He's the one who fucking attacked first.
In this video, Ian does everything he can to expose his own inner thought process, accidentally showing the intent behind every word. For example, in the introduction, Ethan is crazy, and what's the proof that he's...
Yeah, I don't think it was Ian directing. It was Anissa directing. That's possible, but I do like. And then I gargle your mic. Haha, look. No, so true. Hey, Hasan, look. Oh. Well, he just starts throating his mic. Crazy.
Crazy? Him criticizing.
You never noticed why he was out of breath? No, I got that. I understood that it was supposed to be. It's why the middle scene makes even less sense. Like, he implemented the wake up scene, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the intro and the start of the actual, like, video. It was just thrown in there kind of randomly. There's a nice little freeze frame.
Ian. So he is crazy because he criticized you? Ian then explains who H3 is and touches on the falling out between Ethan and...
Yeah, that is a great insight to point out that it shows that it was... I guess I didn't think about that aspect of it. That, yeah, that it must have been created way later in the process, because why else would he have had this intro? I'm showing it like it was in this video, but why else would he have the one intro connect to the beginning of the actual video? If he was intending to have that middle sequence. What does that say about the, like, I guess I'm wondering now, what does that actually say about the scripting of this video? Is it just that haphazard that he just literally threw it all together, didn't know what he was going to be making? He just recorded everything as pieces and then decided to make it a video. Let me film everything like it's a sketch and then try and make it into a movie. Makes sense.
And Hasan.
Reckon with a very serious topic. I would say that Hasan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subjected to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals. Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that may be a war crime. It literally is.
I was just eating the toppings. The pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
How low do you have to sink, or how weak your arguments must be to resort to this kind of manipulation? Or maybe the better question is, how little respect do you have for your own viewers if you think this will convince them? But actually, this proves just how eager you are to protect one specific person, someone you defend multiple times throughout the video and portray in the best light possible.
Because I don't know if I want to be streaming when fucking Hasan's streaming, but I also might want to stream while Hasan's streaming because he deserves like a little competition. Especially if people see me as like the white Hasan.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
We promised monogamous sex. I thought we promised monogamous sex.
Wait, you like my thumbnail? I think it's pretty good. Let's see. I'll pull it up for everybody. We can look at it in all its glory. Too many folders on my computer, I swear. Everything is organized, but organized in a way that makes me have to go through 20 different folders to get to the right one. There it is. How'd I do? How's the edit job? I think I did pretty alright. Tried my best. Tried to help out his, change his tattoos up a little bit. This was the hardest part, adding this extension. I used the AI feature to add an extension to his shirt. It ends like right here, I think. It ends pretty high up. But I was able to make a little bit of a extension using the new AI feature. But the rest of this was done by hand. He is just white Hasan, look. Notice how Hasan looks way more pink than him here? Hasan, like, Ian's darker. Ian is literally darker than him if we have these two images pulled up. I don't know if that's true when they're standing actually side by side, but just pulling from these, like, it looks like he would have more color. But yeah.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that may be a war crime. It literally is.
Yeah, I just sharted. What the fuck are you gonna do? Arrest me? This is America. I can literally shart wherever the fuck I want.
Honestly, I understand the strong criticism of Ethan, but what's with the Hasan glazing? It's almost as if you feel defensive for him. It's unnecessary and, frankly, a little bit embarrassing. You yourself say they hosted a comedy podcast together, so not everything Hasan says is serious. And you also show a thumbnail from one of their most serious...
Oh yeah, Hasan's not white, he's pink. Pink ass Hasan.
...leftovers episodes, where they both discuss this difficult issue. And that means that Ethan is also able to have serious conversation. So clearly, both of them are capable of being funny and having nuanced conversation. But you know that. I guess truth doesn't interest you when you have narrative to push. Then comes a shining example of Ian's deep understanding of the conflict. He throws in a bunch of random headlines over the clip that could easily be criticized for being in poor taste. Yet, even though Ian later claims that Ethan is one-sided and pro-Israel, he avoids going into any real detail.
To show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that when you listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, crazy, like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys.
Oh, and then there's also that infamous
The other
clip.
day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
The one Ethan and Ila have publicly apologized for.
I do understand that was not a good choice of words, and I would not have said that again. So I'm stepping away for a little while from being on camera and being on the podcast.
Of course, you can still criticize them for things they apologized, but that, Ian, puts you in a very awkward position. Because if you're going to hold people accountable for things they've already apologized for, then guess what? You will forever be racist, bigoted, N-word guy. And just for the record, those clips Ian used, obviously he didn't find them himself. That's why the clips are such poor quality, and that's why he clearly doesn't understand their context. A video that actually critiques Ethan's political biases could have been genuinely interesting. But Ian, he's swinging a sword he's not strong enough to carry. And that just makes Ethan even less open to criticism in that matter. Because if the critique has no real weight to it, then it's that much easier to shrug off. Later in the video, Ian builds this idea of Ethan as someone who actively looks for enemies.
He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits, and everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently. Even though he looks like Milhouse, fucking dork. Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video.
Apparently, Ian was shocked that Ethan is a person who criticizes others and gets into conflicts. Something that Ethan has never done before. Ever. Totally new behavior. He builds this narrative, I guess, to argue that Ethan keeps burning bridges with people.
And it's all culminated, at least
for my story. In Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me.
At least for my story.
Yeah, in your story. And just in your story. In your bullshit narration. Ethan is burning bridges? Beside Hasan and you, there were no bridges with any of those other people. He just burned bridges with you. And ironically, in the...
Give me 1 second, my eyes just started watering. Gonna start crying? Oh no. Why? Can I make one, force one out? I think I need a drink or something. My eyes just started watering for like no reason. I like felt it coming on and I was like, okay, it'll probably just go away. Wait, there goes one. See it falling? These are real emotion. Why can't Hasan and Ethan be friends? And my nose is running. Oh no, I'm crying and I'm snotty nosed. Need my water. My bad. You're stuck doing laundry right now? Oh, that is why I'm crying. I feel your pain. But the sword quote was fire. That's what made me cry. Let me go back actually.
He burned the bridge with me.
At least for my story.
Yeah, in your story. And just in your story. In your bullshit narration. Ethan is burning bridges? Beside Hasan and you, there were no bridges with any of those other people. He just burned bridges with you, and ironically, in the very next sentence, you confirm that he was right to do so.
Since Ethan and Hasan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say.
So you basically disliked him ever since then? So Ethan was right. You didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. Then why make this video at all? This is exactly what Ethan's called you out on. So why do you feel hurt and defensive? Then Ian moves on to the Froggy Tonic situation.
I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is an H3 fan. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not going to endorse it. I'm not going to retweet it or like it.
But there is something that blew my mind. Froggy was slandering Hila, spreading misinformation.
Some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point, discovers that Idubbbz' former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila.
And Ian asks, but wait, did you think who told Ethan about Froggy Tonic?
But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from?
Of course not.
Like, that kind of argument only works if the information is false. Like, you say that, you go, dude, why would you believe that? Look at who you're listening to. That's coming from the snark page, bro. But yes, Froggy Tonic did really say that. You really are friends with him on some level. You actually downplayed how much of a friend you are with him. Being like, well, we're friendly. He works for me. He's my editor. But then you started being like, he was a good guy. He's really nice. I flew him out. What was the problem?
No one thought about that because it doesn't matter. But Ian thinks he found a great insight to this whole story. Somehow he is more concerned about who is telling the truth than the truth itself. So Ian starts guessing where Ethan could have found out about Froggy Tonic. As if that matters. Theorizes with complete confidence that Ethan probably found it while scrolling Twitter.
Do you really not get the joke that Mooney's making, Alex? Because I got it. You're not on the internet enough. Have you never seen that joke where it's like, no, you can't die. No, you can't die. You're too hot. Don't do it. No, don't do it. So she's doing, you can't cry. You're too bunny. No. Don't cry. You're too beautiful to cry. That it seems like that could be said like truly from a good place, but it really is like just such like a terrible thing to say. Don't cry. You're too beautiful to cry. You can't die. You're too sexy to die. Don't die. No, please. Don't jump. You're too sexy. Don't do it.
You see, it would be very obviously a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with.
What a brilliant theory from Ian. It would be crazy if he found a tweet about him on Twitter. Sadly, it's probably not.
Okay, that got me. Oh, fuck. You know, I keep thinking about like the layers in which things are wrong, like the things, you know, like the different like the context surrounding certain statements. But sometimes it really just is as simple as that. Oh yeah, no, really?
By scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with.
What a brilliant theory from Ian. It would be crazy if he found a tweet about him on Twitter. Sadly, it's probably not the case because he is no longer on Twitter, so let's see what another brilliant theory Ian has for us.
He has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information, and that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that.
Do you have any proof that they do so? You're saying random shit at this point. You know that imagination isn't good evidence for something, right? You can't be that deluded. Also, why exactly his coworkers shouldn't tell him when some ex-employee of his friend slanders him publicly? This video could be shown in universities as a textbook case of strawman argument. My head hurts from a sheer number of strawman arguments in this video.
Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit, when there's no work being put into who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place?
Why, Ethan? Why?
Who is Icarus drowned? How did they drown? Were they drowned? Interesting story to be told.
Care more about Ian's former employee who slanders you publicly than some random Redditor on H3 subreddit.
Quite literally. Hey bro, why didn't you fucking shoot the messenger? Why didn't you shoot the messenger, bro? What's the problem? I don't understand why you're so, like, you're getting pissed off for no reason.
Who reposted it? I think Ian is really unable to understand why, which is pretty concerning. And the best part is, we don't even know if that's how Ethan found out about Froggy Tonic. For all we know, it's some random post on H3 subreddit. But Ian is obsessing about who the guy is, even though he's probably not connected to this story whatsoever.
If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before. This account has scraped its history, and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's own community. Like, this is the thing that he needs.
Icarus flew too close to the pool, so true. The glue got affected by moisture or something. There was humidity in the air, I don't know.
Needs to be critical of. It's not me.
You're building a strawman by suggesting that it was that one post which made Ethan criticize your former employee. Then you start picking apart details from it to discredit him. And even those details don't make any sense. I really don't know anymore. I feel like he's spiraling into fantasy he invented. He's trapped in a delusion of his own making. And then
Alex coming at me for my sound design again. Thank you, Canine Rescue Gal. Alex is just a hater. Remember to zap that like button. So true. Alex is a lover, not a hater. Never mind, I take it all back. No, I could definitely make the mic sound better. And like Alex has said, if I just don't have, what I want is like an actual stand that I can like pull out and have closer to me. The problem is having it on the desk, because I literally am at a wooden desk. I'm at a wooden desk using this chair, but I could show you. I have stuff sitting on it. I literally have a stool that I use that is like just literally a wooden stool. I'm going to take a picture of it because I have books all over it. I don't even know how old this desk is. This is what my desk looks like. I'm pretty sure this is a desk for a child. But it's a desk for me. That's what it really is. Mine is the Blue Yeti Pro. It goes to the preamp. Yeah, shut up. We USB gang out here. My USBs are over flooding my my driver space on my computer. I literally have one USB. You know, like the USB adapters that look like the surge protectors that you can. I have a 4 surge protector USB adapter into into a single input. Don't know how nothing's blown out yet, I've got to be honest. What is this? A desk for ants? Desk for bunny, so true. Be sure to hide the shot collar remote. You mean this? You mean this? And this? No, I was testing it on Alex's stream. It's dead. It doesn't work. I don't have the charger for the actual thing itself. I used it. Go check out Alex the Fiction stream. I think, is it for members only right now? I don't know. He said he might turn it into a video, but we watched an old video that I used with this. Literally, I'm not even joking. I've done it so much. I have like a response, like a physical response, not even to being shocked. I press it to my neck, and I felt a shock go into my arm, and just like from remembering how bad it is. But yeah, it's not working right now. Look, I got it on all the way. It ain't working. I shocked my cat. Oh no. Oh no, I use a shock collar on my cat. So what? No, imagine. I think I feel like that might kill a cat. Like actually. Because we've talked about like the fact that it contracts your muscles. What it does is like sends an electric signal, like, you know, an electric pulse into the muscle that contracts the muscle. But I feel like if you did that to a cat, it might kill a cat. Do not do that to any animals, but especially ones that are small. Like, my fiance said she knew a girl whose mom had a shock collar on a Chihuahua, and she literally like told her that it was fucked up, and the mom made her leave, or the grandma or whatever made her leave. Fucked up stuff. Speak out if you see it.
It gets even better, because he talks about how they should have researched the person, even if they're telling the truth, just to understand their intentions. And yet you yourself use as evidence.
The stream went really well, just left it up for everyone. Snarkers found the stream in the last hour. Oh no! Oh no! Ooh. Surprised none have come my way, that's not fair. How come they haven't come to check me out?
A random opinion taken from H3 Snark subreddit.
One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out.
I mean, it's irony after irony after irony. The pace at which this video contradicts itself is just beyond me. I mean, it's like Ian is forgetting what he said in a previous sentence before starting the next one. If we actually follow Ian's suggestion to do a little bit of research on that person, you know, the one who probably has nothing to do with this situation, we'll find that their account, like many others, simply post updates about people mentioned on the H3 podcast. Positive and negative, there's nothing there suggesting manipulation or rage baiting. They haven't wiped their history either.
An insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got.
I really like this clip because it shows what Ian's idea of empathy looks like. You have a problem? Well, I had a similar one once and I dealt with it. So get over it.
Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got, was people gaslighting me.
By the way, you know,
I got kind of shocked by lightning while driving once. I don't know, but residual electricity went into my arm from the lightning in front of my car, and that's enough shocking for me. It ain't a good feeling. I imagine that's even crazier.
Who stood up for you when you were being gaslit and struggling? You've guessed it. Your former friend, Ethan Klein. But remember, if someone expects support in return, that means that friendship is fake. It was all transactional.
I've probably done and stood by Idubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
Frankly, I think it's disgusting that Ethan wants support from his friends.
As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Okay, we get it. Ethan doesn't want friends like you, and you don't want friends like him. That's it. That's the whole story, actually. Every other argument in this video just orbits around that central truth, that you just don't want to be friends with Ethan because of who he is and what he believes. But why do you feel the need to publicly justify that for an hour, with dance numbers and a presentation of evidence? Is this some kind of manifestation of your guilt?
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hasan actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees. At one point during this stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre.
I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan.
Huh, it's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
I cut down this 3-minute section like that just to show you how hard it is to analyze this video. First, Ian says that you can't compare this situation one-to-one. Then,
Ian isn't a halfway friend, he's a half-brained friend. There's a difference.
2 seconds later, when it suits him, he suddenly finds perfect comparison. And not only that, but he draws a comparison to something even less similar than Ethan's example. Let's break it down. Ethan's point was this. If Froggytonic publicly spreads lies and insults about Hila and Ian says nothing, that's the same as if an H3 employee would publicly spread disinfo about Hasan and Ethan wouldn't say anything. Not exactly a one-to-one comparison. Froggy no longer works for Ian and the H3 crew is a much tighter team. So yeah, Ian's right, it's not totally equal. But now let's see what Ian thinks is equal. He compares it to Ethan's former employee's old friend, publicly insulting Ethan's former friend, and claims that's the same thing, to build the entire argument based on that nonsense comparison. Okay, here's one of my favorite parts of the video. Ian shows clips of Hila saying she expected support from Anissa.
That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
And Ian's response? Basically, well, we're not going to support her because she is Jewish and from Israel. Yeah, I know, sounds impossible to say out loud, but he kind of did. Let's break this moment down. First, we get an important lecture on Anissa's background. Even though she's from Canada, she has roots in Lebanon and Ireland. So she apparently knows all about genocide and therefore is hyper aware of Israeli propaganda. Which is why, in Ian's logic, defending Hila isn't an option, because she said one thing they labeled as Israeli propaganda.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not going to fucking defend you.
And again, just say it clearly. You just don't want to be friends with someone who is from Israel. At least, not right now.
Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me.
Why even hide behind these vague political excuses? Well, sorry we couldn't defend you. Actually, my wife is half Irish. What are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but
I feel like he was using that. He's speaking, I think, more so on the, like for the Lebanese side, like saying that her father being from Lebanon would then have probably trickled down some information. But the Ireland part is confusing because, I mean, I guess there is oppression. The Irish did face oppression. Very strict. That they had to fight against. Viva la Ireland. I don't know what their cry is. But, the Irish, they have famously faced more oppression than Jewish people. So true. Hey, Irish Americans, they had it pretty bad. They couldn't work in... They actually did. They couldn't get certain jobs and stuff. And that just shows you how stupid racism truly is. The dumbest shit ever.
I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish. Half Irish. Half
Get
Irish.
in my
half
belly!
Irish. Half Irish.
Watch
half
your
Irish,
back.
half Irish.
Into the skin.
And just to clarify, I'm not saying racism is stupid like it's not real. My point is that racism is so ridiculous when people are even racist to people that are of the same race as them, but for some reason they just see lesser than based upon other stereotypes that they've developed through it, like literally random distinctions.
More important things to come.
You're so right. He used fat bastard. It doesn't work here. And I feel like dwarfs and stuff are more. I feel like it's more associated with like the Highlands, like Scotland and stuff.
About.
Half Irish.
This
half
is a
Irish.
picture of what a hungry Irish child looks like. Fight the occupation! Fight the occupation!
And I don't know what happened, but Ian suddenly froze away that whole political angle on that issue. Maybe he blacked out, maybe he had a stroke, but it looks like he forgot what he was saying, because he suddenly ends this whole monologue with him acting stupid and saying, "You're angry just because we follow people? Oh, I don't understand it. You are crazy just because we follow people? Oh, man."
So yes, you caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people? We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa.
That's one fucked up dentist.
And I is, when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
You can tell Ian is trying to run two narratives at once and he's getting tangled up, and so is the viewer. So which is it? Is it A, there is some deep moral political reason you didn't want to defend your friends? Or B, Ethan and Hila are just crazy and decided out of nowhere that you're no longer friends, all because you happen to follow denims. Even if we accept A and B as true, it just kinda proves that Ethan and Hila were right about you. And thankfully, Ian is here to help because he literally explains why they were right in the next moment.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach.
Yes, You wanted to distance yourself, have nothing to do with them. But God forbid they say out loud that you're not friends anymore. Then it's time to make a content upon them. Then they are crazy for bringing that up. This whole video is filled with moments where Ian briefly admits that they could have been better friends.
Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say.
But he only says that as a setup, just so he can immediately reject the blame. He damns the entire failure of the friendship on Ethan and Hila for simply noticing the lack of effort and calling it what it was.
But you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice.
I already mentioned it.
Well, yeah, no shit. It is just like the dumb. Every time I hear it, it's like these points are so dumb. Yeah, I would have preferred it if you didn't talk about me. Yeah, but that you do realize that was after there was already an issue, right? Like, you can't act as though that was like the starting point when there was already an issue and that's what he was talking about.
Before, I also don't think they should have gone public with this issue, but the problem is your entire video makes them look more right.
Our silence means something.
And you openly admit that you didn't want to support them, so you arguing with them while admitting they were right all along.
I feel very insulted and I feel defensive.
And that's the real reason why this video exists. Not because they were wrong, but because they hurt your ego and you felt the need to defend your character.
And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
No, let's be real. You feel hurt. It's about your wound. Maybe you wanted to make a point about how they hurt other people too, but all you ended up showing is that they had a reason to be upset with you, and you keep on proving that point over and over in this video.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for
but
saying
that would be commendable.
And by the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, hey, their house is clean, they're actually good people, like that's going to get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a...
Yeah, somebody else said that earlier, that he sounds like the pronunciation guy. He does.
Fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the fucking the prompt is. No one would care. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out?
You know who would care about?
That's such a good point, too, that, who said it? He's willing to defend, or they're willing to defend Hasan for blatant animal abuse, but not willing to defend Ethan for people assuming child abuse. It is pretty weak when you consider, because it's like, yeah, if you're gonna not want to talk about any of that, not want to get into the weeds of it, oh, but he's been brought into it, now he wants to roll around in the mud until he doesn't, and then he wants to step back. But then he's willing to get back into it. Sometimes I think he wakes up and he's just like, where am I? Who am I? Like, I wonder.
This? Probably Ethan and Hila. It would have meant something to them to feel like it's not just them versus the entire world. Like someone wasn't afraid to support them publicly. But no, to you, that's just being someone's lapdog.
I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my...
I disagree with Kale here. I think they were right to go public. Fuck Ian and Anissa for trying to keep H3 in their back pocket when they didn't even want to be friends with them. Yeah, I can agree with that. I will say this one thing, though. I think that it's fine to go public as long as you had gone and done it in private first. Because I would first be like, hey, bro, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. Like, I was asking you if you could do this, and you just don't seem to care. Like, I thought we were friends. That would probably come first, and then I would be like, this is what I said in private. This is my, because this is the way that I feel. So I can understand kind of what he's saying, that it's almost what Ian was trying to say in the original video. You don't need to go public with everything. But it's about when something becomes necessary, like, to speak on. And I do think that having I feel like Ethan is thinking of a saying that when every time he says like halfway friends, is there another saying that could fit that? Fair weather friends. I think he did say that to start. Yeah, fair weather friends. Oh, didn't he say that first and then they made, didn't they, like, someone joke about him saying it? Yeah, fair weather friend. People that only like you in the fair weather, that only want to hang out when the weather's nice. Which does fit Ian and Anissa quite well. But honestly, maybe not, because they're willing to stick with Hasan through the dirty animal abuse accusations. Thank you, Fairweather, yes.
My audience because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, right. You don't give a fuck. Thanks for being honest for a moment. In fact, you seem proud of how little you care. It somehow offends you to even consider doing someone a favor. They asked. You didn't.
I'm not convinced he's AI because they wouldn't have needed this many cuts. This is definitely someone that's either reading a script or just forgetting their lines.
Didn't have to say yes. But if saying anything publicly was that hard and uncomfortable for you, then think for a moment. Maybe you really were a shitty friend. Ian seems to have some weird obsession in this video with following
Kale is actually Egon Shalakian.
People on Twitter.
We do be following.
He somehow convinced himself that this is the core of the issue, and based on that he frames Ethan as unhinged for saying that he no longer wants to be friends with him. What's hilarious is that literally seconds later Ian confirms that he is not just only following Denims and Frogan, but also that they have a friendly relation.
Now I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with Denims.
So once again he builds an argument that he immediately undermines.
I don't know, we follow people? Now I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends, we be following.
Friends?
That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I, is we are friends with Denims.
Ian fully convinced that the whole fallout was caused by him following Froggy and Denims and nothing else, stretches this strawman to its limits. He even includes an entire segment showing who follows whom on Twitter, as if it proves anything.
Not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Morg Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily Dose of Internet, is anti-Ethan.
Then he builds yet another
shout out Evie. Welcome to Quasar's Cadets.
Yay, I got a subscriber.
Now I almost feel like it's too loud.
false argument that there are creators who are anti-Ethan and Ethan never calls them out because they are more famous, implying Ethan is a coward for not going
Yes, you are green now. Green gang?
after bigger targets.
You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hasan but are still anti-Ethan, but Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hasan. It's because Ethan is a coward. He's a bitch-made coward.
But the issue here is that Ethan has talked about people like Theo Vaughn and Jeff Wittek when they collaborated with Hasan. So again, Ian's imaginary argument doesn't even line up with
For you, Evie, one more time.
Yay, I got a subscriber. Yay, I got a subscriber.
Double. Because I'm really thankful for everybody that's come in. It's because the H3 show didn't start. I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Tuesdays when they don't go live on Mondays, and, you know, other days when they end up not going live. You get it. We're also filling in with other streams. So we'll get there one day where I'll be streaming 24/7, 7 days a week. No, well, we won't get to that point, but we're trying to start streaming a lot more. Get that ad revenue coming in. But again, I really do appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Let's continue the video.
reality. This whole segment is designed to push the idea that Ethan only criticizes smaller creators. But come on, there's plenty of proof that he regularly calls out people who are just as famous or more famous than he is. The real problem, Ian, is that Ethan called you out because I think he actually saw you as a friend and felt disappointed. Other people you mentioned probably don't.
You think AI would have more cuts? I think AI does morphs more often, where their cuts are very, the cuts will be nonsensical. If it's something that is a similar positioning or a similar image, it'll just morph them together. I want to commission Kale to read spooky stories. So true. Maybe that was his first channel. That's why this one was only made like a couple months ago.
Matter to him personally, the way you did. Ian's video was supposed to have a central feature. He wanted to be a snarky little goblin and undermine the words of a well-known YouTube psychologist, who had previously praised Ethan's apology for a pretty unpleasant podcast moment from years ago.
There's this incident on the podcast where they were reacting to Cutie Cinderella, and Ethan was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella a perfect score? A perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of 10?
Literally 10.
I'm trying really hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like, could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up...
It's also just dumb. Ethan wouldn't care. He uses it for bragging rights because it's funny. If he would have gotten an F, he would not care. Because why would he care about what some random person, even if they are a licensed psychologist, why would you care what they think about your apology? Especially when it's like at the behest of somebody who's trying to get that score lowered, like to begin with.
Up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. And I don't know if this came from a good place or not.
It came out of your ass. Because even if he did retract his original rating, what would that prove?
Grade changed from an A to a B at least.
Xander!
What is this propaganda video? I would love to see that. Psychology in Seattle, if you have that video, please send it.
Ooh, that would be so interesting to see. I didn't even think about that aspect of it. Because what he did was try and sway Idubbbz. Did he ever upload like just the full conversation that he had with him? Because he must have recorded like a full session to get like that clip of him crying and like others, like, you know what I mean? And I know that Kirk Honda did like a full like video with him or something. But I would like to see what the conversation was about Ethan specifically. See what that really was consisting of.
Or publish it somewhere. Psychology in Seattle calmly refuses to take the bait, reminding Ian that his original evaluation was based on the apology itself, not on...
This is the lamest, whiny ass part. Watching this back confirms that Ian has CT. You know what it was? I forget what it was that I was watching. Someone jokingly said, I have CTE, and the person went, well, you haven't been diagnosed with CTE, right? And it was just like, do you even, like, I feel like people don't understand what CTE is. CTE, I don't know if I can remember the actual chronic, I don't remember what the T is, but then I remember it's encephalopathy. What is it? Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. How could I not remember the word traumatic? I remembered encephalopathy, but couldn't remember the word traumatic. W brain. But CTE can only be diagnosed upon death, and it can only be like diagnosed if they cut out, like, pretty sure they have to like cut your head off and like check the brain through that or something. Like it is kind of like a way. There's a way that they do it. Yeah, until after you're dead. Exactly. I only know about CTE because of I watch a lot of combat sports and stuff. And here's the thing, CTE really isn't a joke, but what happens from CTE a lot of the time, it can be comical. But we also need to maybe consider, we need to develop some kind of strategy or like some kind of categorization for people that are perceived to have possible signs of CTE but might not have CTE. Because there's no fucking reason that Tito Ortiz, the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, should have ever been like the vice mayor. I forget what position it was. It was like mayor elect, or no, it wasn't mayor elect. What was it? It was some lesser position that they call. I forget what it is, but he was basically the mayor of fucking like Huntington Beach or something. Ortiz mayor. What was it? It wasn't Huntington Beach. What was it? He wasn't the, yeah, he was mayor pro tem. That was it. Mayor pro tem of Huntington Beach. Mayor pro tem. What does that mean? Meaning, mayor pro tem is a member of the city or town council who is designated to serve as the temporary or acting mayor when the elected mayor is absent or unable to perform their duties. Even so, I don't think having a guy who is on video cutting into his hands while trying to cut up an onion and showing the onion covered in blood being like, doesn't that look good, guys? There's great Tito Ortiz moments. That's why we need to take it seriously, really figure these things out. My mom got kicked in the head by a horse. It broke her nose and twisted her neck bones. She never got diagnosed with CTE, but they also didn't realize her nose was broken for 2 years. What? I feel like that would be something you'd notice right away. Your nose is on sideways. There was a good movie about CTE. I can't remember the name of it, but that's how I learned it. True. We saw a lot more of the propaganda video in Dr. Honda's deleted video. I remember Papa Gut did a reaction to it of that video that Dr. Honda deleted, but I don't remember that specifically. The doctor insisted she was having a mental health episode. My mom was the least mental person I knew until the injury. I don't understand how, like, you're a doctor, you're a psychologist, whatever position the person diagnosing is at the time. You should know that, like, chronic head injury, or not chronic head injury, just a traumatic head injury should or will cause a change in mental faculties. I don't understand how they can just so quickly be like, no, we know what this is. Like, diagnosis are never 100%. It's always just the closest correlation to the symptoms. My brother was hit in the head like 10 times when we were children, and I swear it changed him. Yeah, it does. You only need like one time for it to happen. There was a guy, this isn't CTE, but I'm sure everyone's heard the story of that guy who had like a pole like below through his face, and then he lived, but it like definitely messed up his brain, and he had like a completely different personality after that. And people said like he would talk differently and like treated people differently and became like a real jerk. And it's interesting that it does seem that a lot of the time head injuries do lead to like a I don't know how you'd say it, like more aggressive states, like aggressive states that happen more often, a higher aptitude for aggressiveness. His name was Phineas. You guys have never heard about the pipe blowing through the guy's face? Yeah, Phineas Gage. Phineas and Ferb. He had this blow through his face, and he lived. It was all good after. But yeah, it like caused him to... He went from being, like, if I remember correctly, he went from being like a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy and ended up being a very, like, antisocial and aggressive person after the incident. Phineas P. Gage. The P stands for pipe. I think it might have been rebarb or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. There was like something to do with railroads, if I remember correctly, because they were doing, or were they doing mining? I do not remember the specifics. I remember the story, but I do not remember the specifics.
on who Ethan is as a person.
I know I just pulled it up, but we're watching this right now. Back on topic. Focus, focus. I'm everywhere. My great-great-grampy got blown up by the cops in a mattress factory. He survived, but bled to death. Damn. R.I.P. Grampy. It was a railroad. I'm scared of my personality changing. See, I think what we all need to remember is to best to know that you are staying as true to yourself as possible. Always have an inner dialogue and some kind of introspection. It doesn't need to be something that's running all the time, but at the end of the day, if you can, try and rethink the things that you did during the day, the things that you said, and then try and be more clear-minded in the next time when you're out. It'll be difficult because you will just be more, in certain instances, there will probably just be an influx of chemicals or hormones that will affect you to act in certain ways in opposition to your wants and wishes. But we gotta try our best. I just force my brain to emit whatever chemicals I want at any given time. That's why I teared up earlier.
Guests have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize, and I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Seriously, why did you even include this part in the video? It completely backfires and only exposes you as manipulative and incompetent. You even insult him afterwards and act annoyed that he didn't become, as you like to say it, your lapdog.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade, but that's okay, because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology rating system. When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. Fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
Fucking ass whooping. Ass whooping is what he needs.
He said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
One of my friends got tear gassed a couple days ago. So, yep.
Dude, I kind of wish I was there.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be really fucking sweet to throw the tear gas back at him. Because
yeah, bro, it'd be so fucking sick. I wish I was in war. I wish I was in war, because I would totally fucking grab the grenade right before it explodes and throw it back into their foxhole, bro. I'd sweep a whole building by myself. That's how you sound. Bro, I wish I was at that fucking protest. You know what I'd do? I'd do a somersault where I'd grab it as I'm flipping. I'd grab the tear gas as I'm flipping, so I whip it from over my head. I whip it at them. Grow up. Stop fantasizing. Go there and do it, or stop, or don't talk about that. Don't talk about that aspect. That's just cringe. Literally just do anything else.
I think it would be really fucking sweet to throw the tear gas back at him. Because I think it would be really fucking sweet to throw the tear gas back at him.
Look how tough he made himself look in the thumbnail. Those cool scars, and he smokes cigarette. He must be the toughest guy in the world. And he even smacks Ethan on the head. Hell yeah!
I think something that's very important.
Oh, was it supposed to be like a smack? I never wait. Is that actually what it was supposed to be? Oh my god. I need to like analyze it now. That is actually the image he used. I always just thought it was the point. I always just thought it was a point. I thought he was just using a point. My YouTube's glitching out and just keeps doing that every time I click on a video. It says that it's not able to load. What, this looks terrible too. You could have, I mean, if you wanted to make this look more accurate, you could have erased like more. Dude, this looks terrible. It's supposed to be a smack. I think that he's right. Like, it seems so dumb, but I almost think that he's right because of how dumb Ian is. That never computed to me. I always just took it as him pointing. I never like looked at it that deeply. That watch is looking hella gold though. Look at that. The gold is super yellow. Hell yeah.
I think something that's very important to me in...
You always thought that, Madman? You're just smarter than us. You're on a higher level. See, Madman, you should have been doing them streams. You could have let us all know. That's why you need to get on. I'm excited for your stream tomorrow. I'm really upset I missed yours yesterday. But the life goes on. I never saw it as a smack. That kind of blew my mind. I'm not going to lie.
Bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops.
Well, maybe you wanted this to be fair, but sadly it is not. This entire video is about your head ego. It looks like most of the clips you used were pulled from posts that had already portrayed Ethan negatively. And you don't even acknowledge the real-life consequences of the harassment campaign against H3. You completely ignore it. This is the first content cop you've made about someone who actually hurt you personally. A former friend. The entire first half of the video is just a reaction to Ethan and Ila calling you spineless and saying you're not friends anymore. So yeah, this is by far the least objective content cop you've ever made. And since the therapist segment flopped, Ian shifts to a new theme. H3 enemies saying something nice about Ethan. You know, right after we saw this.
In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him, because I think he deserves it.
And beside the fact that none of these people have anything interesting to say, because they never do, you decided to show this weird clip in this section.
You know, I
wanted to pull the image up again because I want to show how fucking awful of a Photoshop job he did too. Why is the blue, why does it stop right here and this is just black underneath Ethan's arm? Like, this looks terrible. Sorry, I just wanted to pull this up again. This is just a terrible Photoshop job. He made the thumbnail himself. He, like, look at the text, the way he has the text placed. This D is too far out, and then the exclamation point is almost completely covered. And then the font itself you're using is very odd. I do not like the way that these are like spaced. And then the black box that you use on the outside doesn't even look like you did that properly, because I can see a gap right here. So it doesn't look like you sent the actual thickness of the background layer of this text to be dense enough, because you have all these little gaps for no reason. Sorry, Madman, I had to give the analysis real quick. Kind of giving a salute? Ooh, maybe.
Also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like, fuck, like, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like, if you come to their defense.
Some people laughed at Ian crying in this clip. Others defended him by saying men can cry too. But let's look at it objectively. You traveled to Seattle to convince a therapist to downgrade Ethan's apology, showed him a propaganda video you recorded in front of a green screen. He declined, and then you started crying and talking about your personal problems? I mean, what are you doing? Just take a quick look at yourself. It's just sad. And you
think Ian paid someone to make this thumbnail for him? I don't think so. He's terrible at communication, so I don't think he could get something made on Fiverr. And if he did, he wouldn't get it made properly because he wouldn't explain it to them properly, and then he'd be upset and wouldn't explain to them that he wants it redone. And so he'd just delete it and never use it.
You yourself added this segment into your video. It was your conscious decision. And you just added it out of context while pushing the idea that Ethan is the emotionally unstable one.
Just say something nice and charitable about him because I think he deserves it.
Is this supposed to be Ian saying nice things about Ethan, like other people in this segment?
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Eli.
I think he might just accidentally reveal the real root of his resentment towards Ethan and Eli. I don't quite understand what he's even saying. Is watching Ethan and Eli's relationship hurt you?
Really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, if that doesn't always help them.
I'm not denying that you and Anissa have it tough, but what does this clip add to your arguments? There has to be a reason he included this, right? Unless the point was to show the world how sensitive you are after acting like a prick for an hour. Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, like that literally is what you danced around like a prick and looked like an absolute fool. Made yourself out to be a dumbass by your own words, and then wanted to make everybody feel bad for you right at the end. It was just the worst. It is probably the worst takedown video ever made on anyone.
If anyone's watching has ideas, please let me know in the comments, because maybe I'm missing something here. Okay, we finally walked through this valley of cringe and death together. Ian and Anissa could have come out of this situation with easy dab. They could have made a video in tone of I miss the old Idubbbz, just saying that.
I still have no idea what Ian was crying about at the end. It seems so ridiculous, and it's because it's almost like when Hasan was crying, that it seems disconnected to something. It's not that it seems disconnected. It doesn't seem like something that they would cry about when put in contrast to all the things that they joke about and talk about. What Ian was supposedly crying about was the idea that it's hard on the internet and, when you're a couple, because all you have is each other. And I'm pretty sure that's what he was trying to like get across, and then he can relate to Ethan and Eli because he is also in a relationship where they get a lot of hate. But again, that wouldn't be him showing empathy or even sympathy for somebody else. It's literally him. It would be almost Dr. Honda being a psychologist or psychiatrist and being like, "Well, can't you see how this person's life is similar to yours, and maybe you should be more considerate of those feelings?" Like, that would be the point that you would draw from that. But that has nothing to do with the actual video he made, which is completely the opposite. He was crying about himself. It had nothing to do with Ethan and Eli. Ian was crying for himself. He was just presenting his own problems and just said Ethan and Eli's name, but it was about him and Anissa. No. Am I just wrong in that he was trying to draw that that comparison? Because that's what it seemed like, is he was trying to show empathy in saying that Ethan and Eli face similar things. And so you can understand why they face that, but that wouldn't be him understanding. That would just be him going through something similar. and then also not having empathy for them afterwards.
They no longer feel comfortable with Ethan and Ila's recent behavior or opinions, and that at this point it doesn't make sense to continue a friendship. That's it. No one could argue with that, and there would be nothing to critique. You would just be expressing your feelings. But in doing so, you would be kind of admitting that Ethan was right to feel like the friendship was over. But no, admitting that someone was even partially right about you, that's not something someone like Idubbbz can do. So instead, in effort to discredit Ethan's words, you made a video that actually accidentally proves him right. Rather than calmly expressing where you stand, you choose to throw a bizarre cringe-filled circus. You danced around like an idiot.
I think I realized why his mullet looks so bad. It's because his hair lacks volume. He like tries to make it like go up and like go outward, but his hair is like very flat. It lacks volume and like, so it makes it come off as greasy and like just gross. Because legitimately, like, the hair itself, like other people can pull off this style of haircut, but you would have to style it different. But the way he wants to style it doesn't go with his hair type.
You stand, you choose to throw a bizarre cringe-filled circus. You danced around like an idiot, paraded your motives for the world to see, and flat out admitted that you don't give a shit about them. And
he was saying if he stands up for Anissa, it makes it worse. But this isn't how Ethan acts. He always stands up for Hila, so the comparison doesn't work at all. I guess I didn't hear, I guess I wasn't listening to him when he was talking specifically about standing up for each other, because I thought that he was just saying it in relation to them only having each other, but I guess that makes sense. And yeah, that doesn't, that isn't the same as what Ethan does, because Ethan will always stand up for Hila and defend her, and in the hopes that it does make it better at some point. I mean, there's no way that you can make stuff like 100% better. You're not going to completely change your life and in one conversation of correcting somebody, but the whole thing is about putting out enough good, you know, info to outweigh this like negative hate. And the difference is like, yeah, if people were coming for, and also yeah, it's just not true. Sorry, I was gonna say if people were coming for Hila for more like aesthetic things, then Ethan probably wouldn't care as much. But he did when Keemstar was saying that she looked like a horse and Lena looked like a witch and all that. So I think that he probably wouldn't care as much, because those are just like, you know, you're just being a jerk. But even then, it's like, yeah, what's the problem with? It's about how you do it. And to be fair, the only way that you ever stuck up for Anissa, and when it comes to like her doing OnlyFans or whatever, was literally you just making a video being like, I don't care. Yeah, so what if she does what she wants? It doesn't even bother me. It's not even a big deal. And it's like, that doesn't get the message across that you think it's a good thing, or that you like agree with it, or that you have come to this, like, that isn't you defending her, that's you defending yourself. But I don't know. I guess that's all Ian ever cares about, is just trying to defend himself. Why couldn't he do that in his fights then?
That you never did.
I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck.
All of which made you look way worse than anything Ethan or Hila could have ever said about you. Of course, had you gone with the video I suggested, the honest version, you would have...
This is the only live stream I get ads on, and it's a lot. Is that because of the size of the channel? I don't think I have it set to a lot of ads. I'll check it later. I've heard that issue on other people's accounts, because you set the amount of ads that you want to play. How often are they playing? Are they playing like every couple minutes?
Missed the chance to put on a show. I mean, this was your chance to ride in on a white horse, to resurrect Content Corp, to breathe life back into a declining channel. It was your chance to once again feel smart and beloved in the eyes of the internet, which, let's face it, hasn't been the case for a while now. So it seems that the cause of Content Cop's death was metaphorical suicide. But what were the details? What exactly led to this tragedy? Allow me to move on to the autopsy of our deceased. We have to take a closer look at the processes that were unfolding inside his head. So let me walk you through my theories and observations that stood out to me.
Every couple minutes? Okay, yeah. I'll mess around with it and see if I can fix them. It's worse on my Switch. Oh. Is that Nintendo just trying to take a cut? Nintendo just giving you more ads for no reason? Because I think I have it set for like every 30 minutes or something. I'll look right now. I don't have them set super often. I don't have them set for every 30. I have it set for every 24 minutes. So you should be getting them about like every 20 minutes, I'd assume. Weird.
In recent years, Ian has been hit with a flood of criticism and hate. Because he changed, because of his relationship, and because he abandoned his old formats. And I think that made him decide the best tactic was to shut himself off from criticism.
Well, I appreciate it. I thank you for telling me. I honestly do care because I don't want to like flood the stream with ads. I feel like that would cause less people to come in. 20 minutes sounds about right. Okay. I'm wondering if it's on Switch, they might be doing more. I like when we were joking about you shocking your cat and it showed a Petco ad. Oh no. Sometimes they do kind of, I don't know if it's the algorithm gods or what, but YouTube can sometimes fill in some pretty funny ads. Or like, have you guys ever, I don't know if people do this intentionally, but there will be moments in videos where someone will go like, check this out. They'll like say that and then it'll play an ad immediately. And they could have placed it themselves, but I just feel like YouTube must know and must have like that built into their algorithm to find placements. Because it just works. Sometimes it works so well and I think it's so funny. I have it set for 24 minutes, so you should be getting them every 20 minutes. I mean, I'm just saying I have them set for every 24 minutes, so I'd assume that if there is a change, like if there is like a difference for different people, you'd probably be getting them like every 20 or so minutes. That's weird. YouTube be fucking up.
And anything that made him uncomfortable. You can see it in the advice he gives to H3 Podcast. For example, employees should only send Ethan positive messages, avoiding anything that might make him upset.
He has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information. And that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you.
Or when he suggests avoiding topics that could trigger negative emotions.
Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, two Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict. It would be nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it.
And remember Ian's claim that Ethan spends his entire day on Twitter just to get mad? That's so pulled out of thin air, it must have been a projection. Projection of his own past struggles. I think at some point the criticism of Ian became too harsh to handle, until he finally learned that criticism won't disappear, and the only solution was to close his eyes to it. But by doing so, he also closed his eyes to criticism.
You know, I didn't want to point it out, but he does look like a cool anime character, Kales does.
That might have been valid.
Or Kale. You were saying Kales because you were talking about something of his. You were talking about him in the possessive sense.
Now that we've gone to therapy and we've worked through all these things, like, one, the videos have not stopped, right? The comments about us have not stopped. What has stopped is me caring about it, me looking at it. And when you stop, when you get the help and you realize that this is like something that you cannot control at all and it doesn't have to affect your life, that's the only way it gets better. Again, like the worst thing you can do is feed into it in any way.
Yeah. It's super compelling because there is this like brain chemistry, this idea of like I can make it go away. Like, I
Well,
can make it stop.
here's what you
I
do.
have the vaccine.
Yeah.
This tactic turned into a habit of nitpicking details just to dismiss them as hate or harassment. Look at the Froggy Tonic situation. He tries so hard to find some small detail that would let him reject responsibility and not even consider what was actually being said.
Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit, when there's no work being put into who the fuck?
Does YouTube think I'm similar to Steven Crowder? That's so sad. I gotta switch it up. Gotta do something different.
Is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place. He's reposting random troll accounts that are very easy to vet. If you click on this profile, it has a bunch of Sam Hyde adjacent posts, and it just hates Anissa and I.
Ian blocks tons of people online on a daily basis, so he won't accidentally see something that makes him uncomfortable.
Instant ban.
Also, if AB's in the chat, ban him.
Idubbbz on Matan Evan would be pretty funny. I think that would be pretty funny.
If AB Starkiller is in the chat, ban him. Ban him and block him.
And sure, unfollowing one or two people who you don't like anymore is normal.
So yeah, he blocked that. I also learned he blocked his other greatest supporter, Harley. Harley! He blocked Harley.
Hello, Chief.
Is he just blocking all the fighters? And didn't you say he unfollowed you, baby?
I checked after this. Yeah, he unfollowed me, which, yeah, I don't know, made me a little sad, but...
what a baby! You're the guy who gets to criticize everybody. You're blocking Harley, blocking that, unfollowing AB, who's been gracious to you this entire time.
But the number of people Ian has blocked could probably set a Guinness record. And it looks like this is just his daily routine. Ian also loves to slap labels on criticism, to make sure it never penetrates his self-reflection. His favorite? Calling everybody incels.
The tattoos of the gold tooth attract a lot of hate from basically... I need to come up with another word to describe it, because I hate to necessarily lump them all together, but I essentially just want to say the incel community, because there's something about it, incel, that I feel like properly describes a group of people that have not discovered self-expression.
This narrative first popped up in his interview with Anthony Padilla, when Ian discovered that his fans were racist incel losers.
I did not like the interactions that I had with fans. There were quite a few human beings that I interacted with.
In person?
Yeah, in person, that just sucked. They just sucked because I attracted a lot of people who sucked. Some people were, as I described earlier, were very much like antisocial, weird basement dwellers. And, you know, the one time a month that they come out of their cave is going to restock on supplies at Walmart, and they run into me, their favorite YouTuber.
Which is kind of the lifestyle you were living at the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. After having enough of those experiences and being like, these
It's
are the
funny
people that I'm attracting. These are the
because Anthony was throwing him a lob there.
And they run into me, their favorite YouTuber.
Which is kind of the lifestyle you were living at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he threw him like a real easy layup to make a joke, make fun of himself.
Yeah. After having enough of those experiences and being...
But I think that he's too... Like, he doesn't realize, because he does think he's better than them. He was literally some guy on YouTube making, like, saying slurs and making crass jokes. And he thinks he's better than other guys because he did it first. Like, that's basically what it is. It's like, anybody could have gotten famous doing what Idubbbz was doing at that time. He was just the first to do it.
Being like, these are the people that I'm attracting.
Like, yeah, the Kickstarter crap videos, whoa, those were so smart. Like, what is the intelligence behind going on and making fun of something? Like, it wasn't like a smart idea. It was a good idea. But he was just the first to do it. And he wasn't even necessarily the first to do it.
And these are the people that I'm entertaining. Like, I need to reevaluate.
Dude, I would kill for a Matan interview. It would be so funny. I'd probably say a slur on it just for the lulz. No, I wouldn't. But if I went on Matan Evans, see, I'd try my best. But nobody can beat him. Nobody can beat him. See, I think of him as a... People talk about like Norm Macdonald and talk about different stuff. Matan truly is he is Andy Kaufman. Because we've talked about Dax Flame being a possible Andy Kaufman. where we never know if Dax Flame is truly in character, if that's just the way that he is. But Matan, we know, is playing a character. He said that he trained his voice to be like that. That's part of the character. But Matan is like Andy Kaufman because he just keeps the character going regardless of anything. You could call him out on it a million times and he just goes, "What are you talking about?" and then moves on. And that's what we love. Never let the bits die.
Evaluate things.
But it wasn't really the audience that shocked him. The shock was that Ian recognized himself in them. I mean, back in 2014, Ian was the embodiment of an incel stereotype. A smug nerd telling everyone what to think. He looked like a cartoon caricature of an incel.
Ian wasn't a nerd. Ian was a dork. Nerds are smart. Dorks are not. That's the difference. I learned that from Rhett and Link, nerd versus dork rap battle. I've got a pocket protector. You know what I'm talking about?
And now, after his transformation and with a gold tooth in his mouth, he pretends he's above that. But it's not even about the fact that he is what he's trying to demonize. It's that this is just another box he built to hide from criticism. If you can just label someone's words as incel talk, then you can sleep peacefully at night. Maybe Ian just forgot that discomfort itself isn't bad, it's part of the human experience. Sticking your fingers in your ears and pretending you don't care won't change the fact that your entire attention is still fixated on that discomfort. Sometimes the best way out is through. But you, Ian, locked yourself in a room, sealed off all the windows and doors, and only then you declared yourself as the winner.
Freaky.
Anissa and Ian mention multiple times that they hate unpredictability when things don't go according to their plan. It's clear they feel safest living a life full of routines and labeled boxes. And when something starts slipping outside those boxes, Ian interprets it as someone doing something wrong or incorrect, something that violates the rules. That's why he feels confident enough to tell Ethan what a podcast should be. He tells him what he should and shouldn't say on his own show.
This is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are.
As if there was some kind of correct formula for what a podcast's supposed to be. But he doesn't stop there. Ian even tries to tell H3 crew what they should and shouldn't be doing.
He has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information. And that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you.
He also informed us how we should and shouldn't joke around. Because when jokes don't fit Ian's internal guidebook, he simply doesn't understand them.
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would conflate the two.
And if Ian doesn't get it, that means you are doing something wrong.
That was also kind of a dumb point. People use comedy as a way to carry their beliefs. But that doesn't mean that that is always what they're doing. Like, yes, jokes can sometimes be like meant to. I'm fucking like super congested right now. I'm trying to talk through it. It's just I feel like jokes can just be jokes, and there was an era where people made super crass, horrible, horrid jokes. And then what happened was there was this shift. There was this shift in culture. And a lot of the people that were making the jokes initially went, "Oh shit. Some of these people weren't joking." And then so I think the point is that Hasan was one of those people that wasn't joking. But in that moment, he wasn't just going like, "Oh, America deserves 9/11. Let's say that 100% with 100%." He was saying that after having said, what's his name got fucked in the eye hole. You know, it's all meant to be in jest in a sense. It doesn't mean that he doesn't believe it, but they are clearly on some level, jokes.
So this same frustration play out when things didn't go according to Ian's internal vision. It didn't just happen in this video with Psychology in Seattle, we also saw it in the Sam Hyde documentary. Ian went in with a clear narrative he wanted to push, but once he arrived, reality didn't match the plan, and he kind of fell apart. You could literally see the confusion.
We did get duped by Sam. We didn't get pranked in quite the way we thought we were going to get pranked. It's not easy to say that I'm like happy with the conclusion because...
Honestly, I don't understand how Ian was so dense as to not have assumed that would have been the type of prank that would have been pulled on you. What did you expect to happen? Of course, like... This conceptually, what Sam Hyde did conceptually is the only way that he could have fucked with you. Creating like a Truman Show kind of effect, where you are Truman and everybody else is in on the joke. That's quite literally the only way that he could have fucked with you, and I don't understand how you would have, like... I guess he thought that maybe people in Sam's circle would be more open, but it's like... They know why you're coming there. They know what this is about.
I'm still wondering kind of what's real and what's fake, legitimately.
Yeah, and he even said to one of my crew members, overheard him saying during the shoot, he said, I'm usually the puppet master in these types of situations. Which is just like, it's just like a mentally sick thing to
Wait,
say.
are you serious?
Yeah.
He
Yes.
said, I'm usually the puppet man. That's like a sociopathic way to see the world. All the interactions you have are puppeteering.
He's got this weird little weaselly thing where he's like, in his mind, he's always running the calculation of like who looks better or some shit like that. Like who's on top right now in this situation.
So what does this kind of behavior signal? This need to dictate how others should behave, to impose your version of the world onto them. Well, it could be a few things, for example a lack of empathy, a failure to understand that other people can have different sense of humor, different styles, different visions. Ian sees himself as the smartest guy in the room, and if he doesn't get something or doesn't like it, then it must be objective.
This bowl cut is terrible. Is this supposed to be like a side part? He's got a side part and a middle part going at the same time. Interesting.
Smartest guy in the room, and if he doesn't get something or doesn't like it, then it must be objectively wrong. And once he's made that judgment, he feels the need to tell us all what's right and what's wrong. It seems as to Ian misunderstanding means incorrectness. Another reason might be a deep need for control. If Ian can't predict something, then that creates a kind of mental friction for him. He loses control of the room and suddenly he can't play the role of the puppet master. He treats people like pieces in his little game, but karma keeps humbling him, placing him right back on the board as a mere pawn. He's like that one annoying kid from your childhood who always told everyone what they could and couldn't do on the playground. If he presented his criticism as advice, it might be received differently, but he acts more like a movie director barking orders than someone offering critique or advice.
They shouldn't be doing that. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are.
The issue is, Ian is not in a position to dictate anything to anyone anymore. The truth is, you've shown your cards a long time ago, my friend. Over the years, we caught a glimpse of the real you between the videos. And no one's looking to you for advice anymore. No one accepts your worldview as the right one. You've lost your place as the moral authority on the high ground. Yet you keep pretending you're still up there. As you probably know, Ian has been talking a lot about empathy in recent years. At some point, he noticed a flaw in his own understanding of this basic human mechanism, and ever since then he seems obsessed with the topic. At least that's what it feels like because I constantly hear him use that word.
Very empathetic. Empathize. Empathetic. Empathy.
But I'm still not convinced he fully understands what it means, and this video really shows it. Ian's version of understanding a situation often just means comparing it to something vaguely familiar from his own life experience.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you.
That would be more in line with sympathy, wouldn't it? Too? The sympathy is the understanding of what other people are going through. Empathy. Or we had a full discussion about this before, about the different types of empathy and that. It's all complicated. It's too complicated for me to talk about, and definitely too complicated for Ian to talk about.
You know, a lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got, was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme. I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton.
I thought I was being super empathetic. That's not really up for your judgment. You could say I was trying my best to be empathetic, but to say I thought I was being empathetic, well, we would hope that you would always try and act empathetically, always try and have a little bit of empathy in your heart for anyone that you're talking about. That should go without saying. But, yeah, not gonna lie, this video was great, but I am glad it's almost over.
Ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation.
We had to, now that we've gone to therapy and we've worked through all these things, like, one, the videos have not stopped, right? The comments about us have not stopped. What has stopped is me caring about it, me looking at it.
Obviously, it's great to show
Support.
Like, people love that.
People are so busy, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not online reading tweets.
And it's always in moments that actually beg for real empathy. Honestly, a whole video is a kind of manifesto of a lack of empathy. Because if you truly believe Ethan is struggling mentally and needs help,
Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help.
if you and Anissa really
He just learned it, Cap, and he's still working out the kinks. That's so true. Just give him some time. He'll become aware. Look, he's thinking about it right here. Processing so hard.
believe that when people pile on someone with mental health issues, it could push them.
Like, he really does put everything he can into thinking when someone's talking to him. When it's Anissa especially, he puts every bit of energy into trying to understand, and he still goes one ear and out, in one ear and out the other.
Towards suicide, really believe mentally and needs help.
Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help.
If you and Anissa really believe that when people pile on someone with mental health issues, it could push them towards suicide.
The last thing somebody who's going through something like that needs is more eyes on it and more like people weighing in, right? And like, that's why I'm kind of angry that we even have to like talk about it here.
Then what the fuck is this video? As I already mentioned, I really liked how Psychology in Seattle handled things. That's what actual empathy looks like toward Ethan and even toward Idubbbz. And yet, even though Psychology in Seattle was basically a hand-picked example of what empathy should look like, his only takeaway was, no, I don't need empathy right now. I need to fuck him up.
What are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
And I think that says more about Ian as a person than anything else. See, Ian was convinced he had unlocked empathy, that he finally understood it, that this part of his ego was now safely handled. And in that comfort he neglected the very thing he would only just begin to understand. That overconfidence is exactly what caused his empathy to regress to levels even lower than his default level.
Take it easy, scrub. Have a good night. We're almost done, too. I hope everybody's been enjoying. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to finish this out, and then I'm probably going to call it for this stream, but... yeah, the thing is his... I don't understand why Ian even decided to try and use the empathy route, because legitimately, it just seems so basic. Like, it is such a complex, like, idea, but everybody understands what it means to have empathy on some level. And so when you try and, like, establish that you yourself have empathy, everybody's just gonna go, okay. Like, if anything, it just speaks more, like, it just speaks volumes upon the, like, heinous things you did prior, because it's like, wow, you really did all of that because you had a lack of empathy. It almost seems like a cover-up in a way. Being like, oh, I acquired empathy at 30. That's why I said all those slurs in the past. Like, that almost seems kind of what he's saying. But either way, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Level. And what a perfect symbol of that regression is the fact that he returned to making content cop. One of the most obvious things Ian completely ignores is the scale of harassment that Ethan and the entire H3 crew are subjected to. Whether you like H3 podcasts or not, you can't deny that Ethan triggers some people like a red fabric waved in front of a bull. His critics obsess over him with the same intensity the internet once devoted to Chris Chan. Every joke is framed as violence, every step is a misstep, and they search between the lines for some kind of primal evil in that man. This isn't criticism anymore. It's obsession, and Ian and Anissa gladly use that obsession for their own goals. When asked, Ian or Anissa are of course totally against online harassment.
We don't condone harassment.
I mean, you're either born with some level of empathy or you're a sociopath. So I think that's kind of the way it works, right? If you truly, I guess you'd need, if you can have sympathy, you won't be a sociopath. But if you don't have sympathy or empathy, then you're just a sociopath because you do not understand. No, I guess you can be a sociopath with sympathy. Because a sociopath understands how people feel, and that's what they use to manipulate. Like, that's what they use for their manipulation. So to lack empathy on some level does make you sociopathic, which being a sociopath doesn't make you a bad person. But it should make you, again, it requires an extra level of introspection to make sure what you're doing is not negatively impacting others. And that's why I think we always just got to be ahead of ourselves.
We don't condone harassment of any kind.
Of any kind. Okay, period. Which is why we have not stuck our foot in any of this.
And yet Ian casually uses H3 Snack as a source for his video.
One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out.
Not only does he use...
I always hear about Chris Chan, but I know nothing about this person. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Don't do it.
He uses it like he's blind to the fact that that subreddit regularly crosses the line. He can easily dig up a post about a random Redditor from the H3 community, but somehow misses all the posts calling for people to contact CPS, FBI or ICE. There is no way you're that oblivious. And this isn't just about H3 anymore. This is about understanding the broader issue. We're not talking about mean comments or surface level criticism.
Well, but that's what I'm saying though, because sympathy... I guess that is. So it's the feeling of pity or sorrow for someone else's misfortune. They don't necessarily have that pity, but they can still understand it. So what would that be then? That's interesting. If it's not sympathy or empathy, what does it mean to just being like the capacity to understand other people's emotions? Because I think acting, like I'm saying, I don't think that necessarily makes you a bad person, but it does take a couple more steps. My cat? Bro just started like going like going around. Are you okay? What's up? Are you having a nightmare? You okay? Did anybody hear that on stream? Did that come through at all? I genuinely don't know. The creator of Sonichu. Oh, you're glad that they got locked up? Well, Chris Chan's out. And in a committed relationship with somebody. That's cognitive empathy. God damn it, I keep forgetting because I only learned that briefly when we looked it up. That's how we treat a pet, people. Oh yes, because I went and checked on him. I think he might have just literally been having a nightmare. Because there was a second where I pulled my headphone off because I didn't know what the sound was. I thought maybe it was a dog outside. But right now, I literally thought I heard a dog howl. I literally thought I heard a dog howl. And it was like a... And so I thought it was like a dog howling muffled by like the outside. But then I realized, no, it was him right behind me on the couch. What a guy.
We are talking about long-term campaigns against creators with real-life consequences, fueled and tolerated by places like Reddit. Because what is Snark subreddit, if not an echo chamber of people who hate specific creator? The goal of every Snark is to destroy someone's career, or to destroy the person behind it. That's why I wanted to bring up something that happened while I was writing this. Unfortunately, YouTuber Michaela Rains, founder of the Save a Fox Foundation, took her own life at the age of 31. She was someone who dedicated her life to rescuing animals. She ended her life because she couldn't cope with the harassment she faced online, and she had her own Snark subreddit, a space used to coordinate a campaign to slander her, spread lies, and harass her. And we can't pretend this wasn't predictable. Anyone with even shred of common sense can see that these communities are ticking time bombs, existing with one goal only: to destroy. And I think I will end my analysis of Idubbbz here, at least for now. I know a lot has happened after the Content Cop, and maybe we'll return to this to break down the rest of the story. But so much has happened already that it's not material for just one video. We've gone through the most important moments of the Content Cop, but there are still a few scenes I didn't include. Mostly because they were just repeating the same arguments, or were just so nonsensical they didn't add anything. But if you're hungry for more content, I made a shorter, more casual video where I go over those extra clips, and it's available on my Patreon.
Oh,
to me, Ian is a lost person. The chaos of this video and the lack of logic behind his made-up arguments, the lack of self-awareness, are the clearest reflection of what's going on in his mind. He seems confused about what he wants to represent, and many of his recent decisions suggest a subconscious desire to self-destruct the persona he built over the past few years, especially around the whole boxing arc.
And, you know, now I'm finally back to where I started, which is making fucking Content Cop videos. I don't want to make this too ham-fisted, but I kind of do want to make it ham-fisted, because I'm like, I spent my last fucking 4 years working on this stupid boxing shit.
From the viewer's perspective, watching his content often feels like he's...
And honestly, after I heard Dad say it, I always want to call him Dad. Ever since I heard Nathan say this, it's just so true, and you see it so much. And he pointed it out too, that Ian sees everybody that like disagrees with him as like an opposition, and in that he wants to fight Ethan, but doesn't want to fight Dad. He wants to fight Ethan because he's actually angry with him. He for some reason gets like this actual like he's genuinely upset at things, like at these things that are kind of minuscule in the grand scheme of like his life, or like the internet ecosystem or whatever. And I don't know, it comes off as bitter and sour in every way.
Working on this stupid boxing shit.
From the viewer's perspective, watching his content often feels like he's non-stop projecting, he's doing something clearly cringe, or even that he's crying for help. To me, the Content Cop is no more. He died a long time ago, and honestly, I hope it stays that way. There are so many shows and movie series that should have ended at the right time, but they kept going and only ruined memories we had of them. Well, it's hard to watch someone fade away, but maybe life is just a lesson on how to let things go. Or at the very least, a lesson about dealing with inevitable change.
He's gotten over 1K subscribers in the last day. That's good. The video is just under 20K views. Let's see if it's past 20K since I started it. Yep, already got an extra 3K on top. That was a great video, and I think really well put, well stated. Not a whole lot that we haven't seen already, but I do think that it was good for someone to kind of outline the steps that it took to lead up to the Content Cop, because of how often Idubbbz just says, "You started it, but you started it," and it just shows the lack of sense, the lack of empathy, and the lack of a brain that Idubbbz Ian Jomha really has. But that's all that I have for today. I really do appreciate it. This stream went way longer than usual, almost 4 hours. Got some new subscribers, got some new members. Really do appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Become a member if you'd like to see some other stuff that I'm working on. I'm going to try and do more content, do more things for members as well. I really do appreciate everybody that stopped in. This is Captain Quasar, signing off.